I speculate, for I have heard that a renowned alchemist made an appearance at the entrance of the Huahua auction house and traded a substantial quantity of first-tier high-grade elixirs. And now that you have brought it up again, I feel fortunate, Qi Qingchen remarked with a smile. How long do you intend to stay here? He did not wish for her to depart too soon, for it would be an extended period before he could see her again. Lan Xingming replied, perhaps a month or two. It won't be long. I still need to return to the palace. Very well. There was a hint of reluctance in Qi Qingchen's eyes. Then you should quickly return to give your friend the medicine. Lan Xingming prepared to see him off. I still have to review the accounts. Should you need anything, feel free to seek me out. Qi Qingchen hesitated, and Lan Xingming, perceiving his inner turmoil, inquired, if you have something to say, do speak. We are friends. I won't bite. Qi Qingchen felt that expressing himself was akin to appearing as a timid bride, which struck him as odd. May I ask if that pair of individuals accompanying you are your friends? Lan Xingming nodded. Indeed. I met her in Qiang town. Her brother was afflicted by the poison of the Duanling powder, so she must accompany me and take elixirs every 10 days or so. Only then did Qi Qingchen feel a sense of relief. He had almost thought they were men of interest or individuals with whom she shared a deep connection. It turned out they were merely patients she had casually helped. Lan Xingming found his inquiry somewhat peculiar. You should head back now. Farewell, until we meet again. Lan Xingming rose, intending to leave as she had numerous tasks awaiting her, reviewing accounts, cultivating, and concocting elixirs. Once Qi Qingchen departed, Lan Xingming entered her space to commence alchemy, as she was preparing to practice a new elixir qi-enhancing pill. This particular elixir was designed to augment spiritual energy, proving particularly effective when one's combat power was depleted. It contained a blend of blood, spirit herb, and spirit spring water, capable of restoring vitality and healing wounds. However, the process of crafting this elixir was rather intricate, requiring a high degree of control from the alchemist. Xiao Ling stood guard outside. Qiubi slumbered in a room filled with spirit stones, while the sword spirit diligently processed herbs. In the brightly lit courtyard of the General Land's residence, a young lady sat before a vanity mirror. A maid rushed in, flustered, to report, Miss, it is said that the third prince visited the Mingyue Tower today to meet an extraordinary beauty. Meanwhile, in the courtyards of other noble families, news circulated among the servants. Lan Diexin picked up a compact of powder from the table and hurled it to the ground with force. The maid on her knees trembled and hurriedly apologized. I am sorry, Mississippi. I must see who this extraordinary beauty is. I refuse to believe there exists a more beautiful or exceptional woman in Shuedo City than I. Lan Diexin's gaze turned fierce, a glint of murderous intent flashing in her eyes. Tomorrow, I shall pay her a visit. Another maid hesitated, quietly reminding her, Miss, but the second prince has invited you for a meal at the tavern tomorrow. Lan Diexin scoffed. That fool cannot compare to the third prince. If it were not for my father's engagement. Her words trailed off abruptly, a flicker of amusement crossing her features as if a thought had struck her. She promptly commanded the kneeling maid, Go inform the second prince that I wish to dine at the Mingyue Tower tomorrow. Yes, miss. The maid hurriedly tidied the floor before departing. The maid rushed to the second prince's residence and knocked on the door. A servant opened it, his tone somewhat impatient. What are you knocking for at this hour? Don't you know the door is closed? Upon realizing it was a maid from the Lan family, the servant's demeanor shifted immediately. The maid spoke softly. Could you please inform the second prince that my lady wishes to invite him to the Mingyue Tower for a meal tomorrow? Of course, of course. Moonstar, be sure to return home early, the servant said, his tone now warm and accommodating. As he watched the maid depart, he couldn't help but drool. He couldn't resist clicking his tongue. Tiske, this little maid has quite a figure. Once your second miss marries into the royal residence, I shall definitely request her to arrange a match for me. He then revealed a lecherous gaze. I shall savor your taste. Closing the door, The servant hurried to the courtyard of the concubine's quarters to find the second prince. Inside the courtyard, brightly lit, the maids sat at the entrance, and through the light, two entwined shadows could be seen, accompanied by sounds of laughter and playfulness. The servant instantly understood and sat down with the maids, asking, "When will the second prince come out?" The concubine's personal maid, Xiaomi, timidly responded, "It is hard to say, it could be an hour or even the entire night, depending on whether the second prince wishes to stay here." Hearing the sounds of intimacy from within, the servant felt a surge of impatience. The maids blushed and lowered their heads, feeling somewhat embarrassed. Xiaomi inquired, "Did you come to find the second prince for something?" The servant stared intently at her bosom. "Just now, the maid from the Lan family said the second miss wishes to invite the second prince to the Mingyue Tower tomorrow." Xiaomi cast her gaze downward, oblivious to his ardent stare. "Oh, very well. Then you may need to wait a little longer, as the second prince has only just entered." No problem." The servant continued to fixate on Xiaomi's waist, as well as her fair neck and wrists, swallowing hard. Inside, the sounds of passion rose and fell after 2 hours. When the maids entered to assist the concubine with her cleansing, they discovered bruises on her collarbone. At that moment, the second prince happened to exit, just as the servant rushed forward to report. Xiaomi, slowly making her way back into the room, appeared flushed, her clothing somewhat disheveled, and her neck adorned with several strawberry-shaped marks. In the basement of the third prince's residence, upon his return, Qi Qingchen hurriedly administered the antidote to Ning Haoyan. The imperial physician checked his pulse, astonished. "Third prince, this medicine is miraculous. Young Master Ning's poison has been swiftly alleviated. Indeed, take good care of him and inform me when he awakens." Having said this, he hastily exited and entered the training room. Before every meditation session, he habitually took out a jade pendant to caress Qing. Shan noticed this habit, but said nothing. He could tell that his master harbored feelings for Miss Lan. However, it seemed his master was oblivious and would not pursue her. Qing Shan quickly arranged for subordinates to find some manuals on courting women and place them in Qi Qingchen's study. On the desk in the study lay a portrait of Lan Qingming, the young girl clad in white, wielding a red sword, exuding an air of carefree elegance.
Chapter 25. A commotion before the Mingyue Tower. The following morning, the area in front of Mingyue Tower was unexpectedly thronged with a bustling crowd, lively and boisterous, drawing even the attention of many common folk. Lan Diexin happened to arrive and was taken aback to see so many noble ladies gathered, including the seventh princess. She strolled over leisurely and greeted them. "Seventh princess, my esteemed sisters, what brings you all here?" A resplendently dressed woman replied with displeasure, "Isn't it obvious? We heard yesterday that my royal brother came to Mingyue Tower to meet a beautiful lady, and we sisters simply wish to behold her unparalleled beauty." As she spoke, the golden hairpin atop her head swayed, producing a jingling sound, while the excess flesh on her face quivered precariously. A flicker of disdain crossed Lan Diexin's eyes, yet she maintained a facade of warmth as she grasped the seventh princess's hand. "Why be angry, your highness? No matter how beautiful that woman may be, she could never rival your grace." The seventh princess cast her a knowing glance, seemingly pleased with the flattery. "Indeed, for I am the fairest maiden in our snow kingdom." Unbeknownst to her, as soon as she uttered those words, several other noble ladies shot her disdainful glances. It was common knowledge that Lan Diexin had been bestowed the title of the most beautiful woman in the capital. Whether a quarrel would ensue over the seventh princess's self-proclamation remained uncertain. Lan Diexin feigned a smile, her heart seething with indignation, nearly choking on her own blood. However, due to the seventh princess's status, she refrained from retorting, for everyone was well aware of her arrogant and disrespectful demeanor, emboldened by her royal favor. The proprietor, upon hearing that Mingyue Tower was filled with nobility today, hurried to the entrance to welcome them. "Esteemed princesses and ladies, your presence graces us. Please, come inside." Upon seeing the proprietor, the seventh princess quickly assumed a serious demeanor. "Proprietor, we are not here to dine but to seek someone." The proprietor, maintaining his composure, calmly inquired, May I ask whom the seventh princess is looking for? We seek the lady who met with my third royal brother yesterday. Summon her at once. The seventh princess bellowed, exuding an air of entitlement. Following her, several hot-tempered ladies echoed her fervor, demanding, bring forth the woman who seduced the third prince. Otherwise, we'll smash your establishment. Stop pretending, proprietor. We know that wretched girl resides here. Some radical young ladies began to pound on the door, shouting at the upper floors, despicable woman, dare to hide? Those dining on the first floor of Mingyue Tower hurriedly fled, terrified of attracting trouble and complicating their lives. The proprietor, witnessing the ladies' unruly behavior, frowned. Ladies, please refrain from causing a disturbance in Mingyue Tower. Lan Diexin, observing the escalating situation, couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. Indeed, these individuals were precisely those she had intentionally informed about the third prince's meeting with a lady, ensuring that the woman faced humiliation at their hands without her direct involvement. Lan Diexin suddenly spoke in a coy voice, "Seventh princess, esteemed sisters, perhaps that lady is merely an ordinary friend of the third prince." She deliberately paused, instantly igniting the ire of several ladies from noble houses. If that wretched girl wasn't he intentionally seducing him, how could the third prince have spent nearly 2 hours with her in the tavern? Indeed, the third prince is notoriously indifferent to women. Perhaps she employed some base means, a lady from the prime minister's house insinuated. The clamoring of the women grew louder. Proprietor, hurry and hand her over. Dozens of ladies surrounded the entrance of Mingyue Tower, causing those wishing to enter for a meal to be alarmed. Lan Qingming had just finished meditating and was about to rest and check the accounts when a servant rushed over. Flustered, "Miss, it's bad." "What is it?" Lan Qingming inquired, puzzled. The servant recounted the entire ordeal. "They are now pressuring the proprietor to hand you over." "I understand." Lan Qingming hurried downstairs to the hall. Meanwhile, the seventh princess continued to mock. "What of your so-called unparalleled beauty? You don't even dare to show your face. Could it be that you're an ugly hag? Who are you calling an ugly hag?" Lan Qingming replied coldly. The crowd beheld a woman clad in red descending the staircase, and everyone collectively held their breath, seemingly in disbelief. The flame mark on her forehead accentuated her fair skin, and the jade pendant she wore swayed gently. Why the sudden silence?" Lan Qingming surveyed the crowd with a cold glare, her gaze momentarily flashing with murderous intent upon spotting Lan Diexin. The proprietor, seeing the young lady had arrived, hastily clasped his hands and said, "Miss, these individuals are causing a ruckus. What should we do?" "Leave it to me." Lan Qingming waved her hand casually. The seventh princess regarded Lan Qingming with jealousy and disdain, scoffing, "What use is beauty? You're nothing but a decorative vase." "Oh? At least I am a vase." "Unlike you, a mere slab of meat," Lan Qingming retorted. Some onlookers couldn't help but scoff. With such manners, how could she call herself a princess? A young lady from the prime minister's house stepped forward to berate. "Speak. Did you use some enchantment to seduce the third prince, you wretched creature? Perhaps you should ask him directly whether I have seduced him," Lan Qingming said languidly from her seat. The noble ladies, seeing her nonchalance, escalated their mockery. "Ha! Just look at that uncouth posture. It's clear you're a low-born wretch." Lan Qingming's eyes turned icy as she glared at them, enunciating each word, "Say that again if you dare." This time she was genuinely angered. In her past life, she detested anyone insulting her parents, and this lady had struck a raw nerve. The girl, seemingly unfazed, arrogantly replied, "I said you're a worthless creature raised without a mother." Chapter 26. Slapping the noble Miss Lan Qingming unleashed her magic, sending a fireball hurtling toward her. The noble lady's eyes widened in terror, forgetting even to scream for help. Seeing this, Lan Diexin quickly conjured a protective shield for the lady. Bang! The fireball shattered the azure shield and struck the lady's abdomen directly. She shrieked in pain, clutching her belly as she collapsed onto the bare floor, prompting those around to scatter, fearing they would be caught in the crossfire. Lan Diexin, rebounding from the backlash of her own spell, coughed up blood, her eyes filled with resentment and jealousy as she exclaimed, You are Huang Ling." In disbelief, Lan Qingming approached her step by step, looking down at her with an air of superiority. Suddenly, this scene felt eerily familiar, reminiscent of the day she was wrongfully accused of theft and brutally beaten. With a frigid tone, Lan Xingming leaned close to her ear. Taunting, does it seem familiar? Dear sister. She intentionally paused her words, an amused glint in her eyes as she glanced at her, feigning ease. Lan Dexin's shocked expression hardened into a glare, yet she stubbornly retorted. Is it you? Lan Xingming, ha ha ha, you're still alive. What a pity, Lan Xingming, you're just a worthless nobody. Do you think father is unaware of what we've done to you? He knows, but father prefers my mother and me. You are nothing but a stray dog. Lan Dexin's words were meant to provoke, emphasizing their father's lack of affection for her. However, she was not the original Lan Xingming, who would be devastated by such cheap paternal love. Lan Xingming suddenly found amusement in Lan Dexin's deranged demeanor, which had completely unraveled her usual innocent facade. The onlookers stared, astonished by Lan Dexin's furious expression. What are you laughing at? What is so funny? Lan Dexin, no longer pretending, revealed her true self. Lan Xingming chuckled slowly. I laugh at your naivety. You think these tactics can provoke me? Truly foolish, I am no longer the Lan Xingming who would merely endure. I do not covet the love of strangers, however. I shall repay you for the murder of Antyu and the torment you inflicted upon me in the past. Lan Dexin furrowed her brow. Her gaze fierce as she questioned, Lan Xingming, what do you mean? What stranger? How dare you deny father? You are truly ungrateful. Having roamed wild, devoid of any sense of propriety, will you move aside or not? Your commotion is severely disrupting the operations of Mingyue Tower. Lan Xingming scanned the noble ladies, noting their averted gazes, revealing their trepidation regarding her prowess. The seventh princess continued her reckless bravado, shouting, So you are that worthless Lan Xingming? Even if you've become powerful, what of it? This is the capital of the Snow Kingdom, the territory of my royal family. If I desire your life, you shall not see tomorrow. What is a mere Mingyue Tower to me? I can make it vanish at any time. The seventh princess's words clearly provoked the proprietor, who immediately stepped forward, pointing an accusatory finger at her. Seventh princess, what audacity! Do you know who supports Mingyue Tower? You are but a trifling princess of the royal city. He then bowed, clenching his fist, and turned to Lan Xingming, pleading, Master, they have humiliated us at Mingyue Tower. We are not to be trifled with. The Mingyue building is currently garrisoned by numerous skilled individuals from our palace, and the senior sister has commanded them to emerge. With a snap of her fingers, Lan Xingming called out, Come forth. Come forth, encircle them. In an instant, dozens of figures sprang from the periphery of the establishment, surrounding the esteemed young ladies and displaying their spiritual might, compelling them to kneel, immobilized. What to do? They are all orange spirits and yellow spirits. At this moment, the seventh princess was truly alarmed and hurriedly sought assistance from Lan Dexin, for among their ranks, only Lan Dexin possessed the highest cultivation. Yet even she had only attained the first level of orange spirit, achieved through the blue family's medicinal concoctions. Lan Dexin's emotions were tumultuous as she beheld the one who had once been her victim now elevated to such heights. Though she felt a pang of resentment, she found herself powerless. The gathered individuals bowed deeply to Lan Xingming, exclaiming in unison, Greetings, senior sister. Lan Xingming nodded. Rise. She then swiftly unleashed the Qing tongue, ensnaring Lan Dexin around the waist. Qing tongue, bind the others as well. The vine promptly extended its other branches, hoisting the remaining young ladies upside down before the Mingyue building. Upon seeing Lan Dexin sprawled on the ground, Lan Xingming coldly remarked, Do you remember? 2 years ago, I was treated in this very manner by you and your mother. What do you intend to do? You madwoman? Spare me! Lan Dexin retreated in fear, glaring at her with indignation. I warn you, if you dare treat me this way, my father will not let you go. Lan Xingming dismissed her threat nonchalantly. Let him do as he pleases. He cannot harm me, for you. Today, you shall suffer as I did, and I intend to repay all the grievances you have inflicted upon me. With that, Lan Xingming raised her whip and struck fiercely at her, and when her arm grew weary, she commanded the Qing tongue to continue the onslaught. Lan Xingming, spare me! Lan Dexin screamed in agony. She attempted to summon her spiritual energy to erect a shield, only to discover that her powers were ineffective, leaving her in despair as she endured a relentless 81 lashes. Lan Dexin, this is merely half the number you inflicted upon me that day, and you cannot withstand it? Lan Xingming retorted with a cold laugh. I endured nearly 200 lashes from you, and your Lan Qingming released QB and the sword spirit. QB now appeared as a small phoenix, while the sword spirit transformed into a fiery red sword deity. The young woman in red wielded a strikingly beautiful sword, with a golden phoenix perched on her shoulder, her face adorned with a mesmerizing smile. Come, let us engage in battle. If you win, I shall release her. If you lose, you must pay me 1,000,000 spirit stones. Lan Qingming declared coldly, promptly disregarding their reactions as she unleashed her spiritual power. General Lan was compelled to raise a spiritual energy shield. Chapter 28. A hasty retreat as their powers collided, immense force erupted, prompting the disciples of the Mingyue Palace to swiftly erect a protective barrier to shield innocent bystanders from the fallout. Ultimately, Lan Qingming, being of a lower rank, was forced back several steps, but General Lan was not faring much better. His internal organs felt as though they had been shattered. Lin Yu hurried to support General Lan. Expressing concern, "General, are you all right?" The general coughed up a mouthful of blood, while Lan Qingming hunched over, her crimson attire concealing any visible traces of injury. QB fetched some spirit spring water for her, saying, "Master, drink this first. I will handle this old curmudgeon." At this moment, General Lan was somewhat astonished, realizing that his once-dismissed daughter possessed the strength to contend with him. It had been many years since he had sustained such severe injuries. Aware that continuing the fight could lead to his defeat, he chose to call it a draw. Adopting a tone of paternal concern, he implored, "Ming'er, let us end this here. I can allow you to reclaim your position as the young lady of the Lan family, providing you with the finest resources." Before Lan Qingming could respond, Lin Yu and Lan Diexin voiced their discontent. Lin Yu urgently interrupted, "General, you must reconsider. Lan Qingming harbors a strong desire for vengeance. She will never drop her animosity and return to the Lan family. She will undoubtedly retaliate against us. General, please think carefully. Is one genius like Diexin not enough for the Lan family?" Lan Diexin, still suspended in midair, cried out in despair, "Father, do not allow this wretched girl to return to our family. I am your most beloved daughter, and not a shred of the Lan family's fortune should be shared with her." General Lan's expression darkened at the dissenting voices, and he thundered, "Silence. My word is law in the Lan family. If I say she can return, then she shall. Every disciple is entitled to share in the family's wealth." Lin Yu, standing closest, was violently thrown back by General Lan's outburst, landing on the ground in despair as she gazed at the treacherous man before her. Disbelief laced her voice as she cried, "You would treat me this way for that vile woman? Lan, you have no heart." "Enough," Lan Qingming interjected, clearly irritated. "Pay the required sum, and you may take Lan Diexin. Otherwise, forget it. You know very well that I am not your biological daughter. My mother feigned affection for you, and your desire to bring me back is merely due to my current strength and the backing of the Mingyue Palace, which you seek to exploit. But do you think I will allow myself to be manipulated again?" General Lan seemed taken aback by her swift comprehension, momentarily stunned. "Since you are aware, then I cannot allow you to remain." With that, General Lan appeared ready to unleash a devastating attack on Lan Qingming, prompting QB to swiftly position itself in front of her. "Master, you are not his match. Be careful." QB expelled flames to intercept his strike. Yet as a contracted spirit beast, it was inherently linked to its master's power. Lan Qingming could distinctly sense QB's struggle. "Die!" General Lan shouted, channeling his lightning power towards Lan Qingming. Just then, a figure stepped in front of her. "Uncle Lin, what are you doing here?" Lan Qingming exclaimed in surprise. Uncle Lin, possessing a higher level of spiritual power than General Lan, quickly began to drive him back. Seeing this, General Lan reluctantly surrendered, handing over the gold coins and retreating home with Lan Diexin, who cast a resentful glare back at Lan Qingming as they departed. The disciples of the Mingyue Palace recognized Uncle Lin, as he frequently assisted the palace master, and bowed in respect. "Greetings, Uncle Lin." Indeed, Uncle Lin replied with a warm smile, aiding Lan Qingming as they entered to tend to her injuries. "Miss, you must be more cautious. Had I arrived even a moment later, your life would have been in peril." "Do you understand?" Lan Qingming playfully replied, "I knew you would come in time. Besides, I have healing elixirs on hand, and with my spirit pet QB, I would not fall easily. Through this battle beyond your level, you have gained considerable insights. Perhaps in a few days, You will achieve a breakthrough, Lan Qingming jested. Uncle Lin chuckled, remarking, indeed, this breakthrough is as effortless as eating and drinking, just as the palace master said. Another breakthrough is upon you so soon. Suddenly, Lan Qingming winced in pain, prompting Uncle Lin to express concern. Miss, you should attend to your injuries immediately. After Uncle Lin departed, Lan Qingming immersed herself in the spirit spring water. Her wounds healing significantly, little Ling fluttered over, teasing, little master, you have amassed quite a fortune this time, especially with that bag of spirit stones. Instant wealth. Indeed, we should attend the auction next time. It will be a perfect opportunity to spin some. Lan Qingming replied cheerfully. Within the Three Kings mansion, Qing Shun anxiously rushed to Qi Qingqian's training chamber, peeking through a small window. Master, are you there? A cool male voice responded. What is it? Qing Shun shivered. Excitedly reporting, Master, I must inform you about Miss Lan. Today, when she heard the servant's report, she was quite surprised, but more so, she admired Miss Lan's audacity. Qi Qingqian opened his eyes and quickly exited the training chamber. Asking Ming'er, what has happened? Qing Shun could not help but click his tongue at the sight of his master's urgency. When speaking of others, he referred to her as Miss Lan, but in private. He called her Ming'er. This morning, Miss Lan was surrounded by many young ladies, including the 7th princess, at Mingyue Tower, and she taught them a lesson, charging each family 100 gold coins, Qing Shun recounted. Qi Qingqian's eyes sparkled with amusement. As expected of her, decisive in action, by the way, ensure that they compensate generously. The 7th princess deserves some reprimand, he instructed. Yes. Qing Shun's eyes darted around, convinced that his master harbored feelings for Miss Lan. Despite his denials, Master, there is one more thing. Speak. Qi Qingqian settled into his study. Today, the Huahua auction house sent us an invitation. Will you attend? Qing Shun asked tentatively. Qi Qingqian promptly refused. No, Qing Shun hesitated, uncertain if he should press further. Qi Qingqian glanced up at him, his voice cold. Why are you still here? Master. Miss Lan will also be attending, and her room should be on the 2nd floor, Qing Shun added, bowing respectfully. Then let us go. Qi Qingqian commanded. Qing Shun quickly exited, unable to suppress his astonishment. Indeed, a man's mood changes faster than turning a page in a book. My master is becoming quite the sycophant for Miss Lan. Today, the streets bustled with people, most of whom were cultivators. Lan Qingming deliberately disguised herself in a dark green male outfit, though her slender figure was still evident. Chapter 29. Attending the Huahua auction. Lan Qingming, alone, entered the Huahua auction house with her token, sensing a gaze lingering upon her. As she searched for the source of the gaze, she discovered it came from a private box on the 3rd floor, where their eyes briefly met. She then proceeded to her own box on the 2nd floor, where numerous guests gradually filled the space. Among them were many disciples from various sects, primarily drawn in search of elixirs and magical artifacts. The auction commenced officially, as a provocatively dressed woman with an alluring figure sashayed onto the stage, holding a box in her hands. Welcome to the Huahua auction. My name is Yun Dai, and we have a total of 39 items available for bidding today. The names and order of the items have been distributed to all present. The sultry tone of her voice elicited cheers from the men in attendance. Miss Yun Dai, please begin. I can hardly wait. Miss Yun Dai is truly beautiful. Who do you think is more attractive, the enchanting Lan Diexin or Miss Yun Dai? One elegantly dressed man mused. That depends on personal preference. They each possess a unique charm. One is pure and sweet, the other alluring and seductive. Another chimed in. Ha ha ha, yet I prefer Miss Yun Dai for her genuine allure. Her figure leaves Lan Diexin in the dust. A robust voice jested. Have you not heard the rumors from yesterday? Lan Diexin is no longer pure. She was seen parading her naked body on the street, and the beauties of Mingyue Tower gave her a good beating. I witnessed it myself. It was her own folly. The once proud and untouchable second daughter of the Lan family is now a woman trampled by many. Ha ha ha. I also heard the second prince is furious and wishes to annul their engagement. As Lan Diexin entered, she immediately caught wind of the gossip surrounding her. Many young ladies had long harbored disdain for her, and now they ridiculed her even more. The idle chatter of these men was unbearable, intensifying her hatred for Lan Qingming. Yet, those who dared to offend her fell silent upon her arrival. Soon after, the second prince entered, approaching Lan Diexin's box. Diexin, please let me explain. It was all a misunderstanding. I never intended to break our engagement. Lan Diexin ignored him, sitting quietly to the side while the second prince moved closer, wrapping his arm around her waist as he settled beside her. Butterfly Heart, do not be angry any longer. Today, whatever you desire, this prince shall procure for you. Is that agreeable? The azure Butterfly Heart's eyes flickered momentarily as she inquired, is that for real? Today, she had quarreled with her father, resulting in him withholding her spiritual stones and cutting off her allowance. However, she was determined to acquire the healing elixirs necessary for treating her wounds and for her future battles. The second prince felt a sense of triumph. He knew that any woman, even one as proud as Butterfly Heart, could be appeased with money. Despite her recent public disgrace, he had considered breaking off their engagement, but upon reflection, her impressive cultivation, influential family, and her appealing physique led him to begrudgingly accept her. The second prince lowered his gaze to her neckline, his hands unconsciously wandering as he whispered in her ear, as long as you behave, you may have whatever you desire. This prince has ample wealth. His heated gaze lingered on her attire as his hands began to slowly dismantle the exquisite facade. In an instant, Butterfly Heart comprehended his intentions. To secure the elixirs, she gritted her teeth and stifled her cries. Her cheeks flushed. She felt a chill as her clothing was torn to shreds, and the man's hands moved toward her lower body. In a flurry, she grasped his hand, leaning weakly against him, her voice sultry as she pleaded, Second Prince, we are still at the auction. It is about to commence. Can we wait until the auction concludes? I promise I will not go back on my word. Draped in a revealing garment, she feigned compliance, allowing him to indulge while internally loathing him. She had always harbored feelings for the third prince, and now being forced to marry the second prince left her heartbroken. How could a man like the third prince, so radiant and dignified, behave like this lecher in such a public setting? Butterfly Heart repeatedly reminded herself to endure until she obtained the elixirs and then depart. But she felt unworthy of the third prince after losing her purity. The second prince murmured, Butterfly Heart, I shall treat you well. You smell delightful and are truly beautiful. If you serve me well, I will buy you anything you desire. He intentionally teased her, caressing her sensitive spots, forcing her to suppress her cries, relishing in her modesty. After all, they were cultivators, and their hearing was sharp. Had it not been for the soundproofing of the private room, they would have drawn the attention of the crowd. Outside, the bidding was fervent, with a spirit-gathering mushroom initially valued at 200 spiritual stones soaring to 1,000. Blue Dream sat leisurely in the private box. Sipping tea, she had no intention of bidding for this item, as she possessed a spirit recovery pill with the same efficacy. Meanwhile, on the second floor, the exposed and aching Butterfly Heart hastily called out for the second prince to raise the bid. Shouting, 1,500 spiritual stones, gasps of surprise filled the room. Who would have thought such a common herb could fetch such a high price? A burly man lamented, it seems I cannot even afford a mere herb. Yuan Dai's enchanting voice chimed in, does any employer wish to raise the bid? If not, this herb shall belong to this employer. She struck her hammer, 1,500 once, 1,500 twice, just as she was about to call for a third time. A melodious and gentle voice interrupted, 1,800 spiritual stones. It was none other than Blue Dream, who, upon hearing Butterfly Heart's voice, decided to torment her further, knowing she would likely raise the bid. Butterfly Heart, gritting her teeth, declared 2,000 spiritual stones. This time, Blue Dream refrained from countering, feeling a sense of satisfaction having successfully deceived Butterfly Heart and gaining an effortless 500 spiritual stones. Indeed, this herb was the very one she had submitted to the auction house. Initially paired with the pill, though the second prince was wealthy, he felt a pang of regret and chastised. Why spend so many spiritual stones on such a worthless herb? Butterfly Heart withheld the true purpose of her purchase, instead tearfully lamenting, did you not promise to buy me anything I wanted, second prince? I truly desire it. The second prince was left speechless. He had not anticipated that pursuing this woman would cost him so dearly. He could have sought the company of a courtesan in a pleasure house instead. Those women would provide him with enjoyment, unlike this woman who was utterly tedious and pretentious. Chapter 30. The Battle for the Spirit Beast. A guard approached with a box, and Yuan Dai alluringly introduced. Are you aware of what this is? She piqued the audience's curiosity, As the crowd leaned in to glimpse inside, they could not help but mock. Miss Yundai, are you jesting? This is merely a lump of mud. It can be found in abundance on the ground, and there is no spiritual energy emanating from it. Yundai smiled gracefully. Dear guests, do not rush. This item holds great significance for alchemists. A man voiced his confusion. What use does a small patch of black soil have for an alchemist? It wouldn't even suffice to nurture a flower. The crowd erupted in laughter, deeming it absurd, except for the alchemists who frowned. Many alchemists were present today, and they recognized the soil's immense value. It was just too tiny to cultivate a herb. Yundai turned toward the alchemist section on the second floor and boldly proclaimed, "This item accelerates the growth of herbs and produces exceptional results. The starting price is 688 spiritual stones. Is there anyone who wishes to bid?" After her announcement, silence enveloped the room, clearly indicating no one was willing to purchase it. Little Ling's voice echoed in the space. "Master, hurry and buy it. This is a rare treasure that can be planted in your space." Blue Dream paused, puzzled. "But it seems a bit small," Little Ling urged. "It can be integrated into the soil of your space. This is nutrient-rich black soil." Yundai felt a wave of embarrassment as her presentation faltered. She had to sell this item to maintain her credibility and avoid compensating the seller. Just as despair settled in, a melodious, youthful voice rang out, 688 spiritual stones. She looked up gratefully toward the private box on the second floor, striking her hammer, 688 once, 688 twice, 688 thrice. The crowd was astonished. Whispering amongst themselves, someone is actually willing to pay 688 spiritual stones for this worthless lump of dirt? What a fool! Someone even shouted toward Blue Dream's box, "Young master, are you planning to play with mud?" At that moment, he was promptly silenced. The crowd gazed in fear toward the third-floor box, wary of offending a noble, and quickly fell silent. The auction house staff refrained from intervening, indicating the individual possessed significant power. It was common knowledge that the third floor was reserved for the most elite VIP customers, and only one person was permitted access. Blue Dream looked toward the third floor, perplexed as to why they would assist her. Rarely did anyone occupy the third floor box. Was there something of great importance at this auction? Yundai continued to enliven the atmosphere, announcing, "Next up is the highly anticipated spirit beast, the Azure Dragon. One of the 4 divine beasts, though still in its cub stage, having such a divine beast as a combat partner is quite advantageous. The starting bid is 100,000 spiritual stones." The young Azure Dragon was confined in a cage, its legs bound by iron chains, appearing pitiful. The atmosphere became lively as various factions stirred with determination to seize the Azure Dragon. Wow, this is one of the 4 divine beasts alongside the White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise, a young man exclaimed. An elderly man stroked his grizzled beard, his eyes gleaming with ambition. "I must have this Azure Dragon." The crowd erupted in outrage at his claim. "On what grounds? Just because you are the leader of the Haobi sect? There are so many esteemed disciples and elders present. Why should we yield to you?" A female disciple from the cold, vast palace retorted. "Everyone should compete based on their abilities. Those with wealth can take it." The leader of the Haobi sect glared, clearly displeased. "Unappreciative fools." He quickly raised his bid, 110,000 spiritual stones. Others soon followed suit. 120,000 spiritual stones. In the private box, Butterfly Heart also harbored thoughts about the Azure Dragon, but given her lack of spiritual stones, she turned to the second prince for assistance. However, recalling her recent expenditure of 2,000 spiritual stones, she knew he would be displeased and unlikely to help her acquire such an expensive divine beast. Thus, she decided to subtly gauge his opinion, praising him to entice him into bidding for the Azure Dragon. Intending to later incapacitate him and seize the creature for herself, she approached the second prince from behind, feigning a gentle back massage, her voice soft and enticing. "Second prince, as a cultivator without a contract beast, should you not consider bidding for the Azure Dragon?" The second prince frowned. With so many cultivator families and sect disciples competing, how could this prince afford such a price? "If I were to wager the palace's wealth, my father would have my head." He pulled Butterfly Heart into his embrace, teasing her. "Butterfly Heart, did you not just say I should not wear clothes? There is no one here." Your shy demeanor was quite enchanting. Butterfly Heart suppressed her urge to retch, pretending to be submissive. swaying her alluring figure. Second prince, I have always believed you possess greater cultivation talent than others. The azure dragon is rightfully yours. The second prince violently tore apart the new garments that she had just retrieved from her storage bag, his hands wreaking havoc as he succumbed to the allure of passion, unwittingly acquiescing to her desires. Lan Yexing, disregarding her attire, hastily raised a sign to bid for 190,000 spirit stones. Upon hearing this, Lan Qingming was taken aback. Pondering how Lan Yexing could possess such wealth, she promptly extended her divine sense to inspect her private box, only to be met with a scene akin to a living spring palace painting. Stunned, she observed the chaotic tableau and the intimate entanglement of two figures. The second prince appeared utterly enraptured by desire, relentlessly clutching Lan Yexing in a fervent embrace, his cries reddening Lan Qingming's ears. She never anticipated their escapades to be so audacious. No wonder at the auction, Lan Yexing had only bid on a single item. It turned out she had been too preoccupied to bid on anything else. Lan Qingming hastily recited a calming incantation, listening as the bids outside escalated higher and higher, with some observers dismissing the outrageous prices. Among them, the leader of Haobi sect persisted, calling out, 900,000 spirit stones. This was nearly equivalent to liquidating the entire assets of Haobi sect. The Alchemists Guild, being the wealthiest of the factions, also stood firm. 1,000,000 spirit stones, a collective gasp echoed through the crowd. These alchemists certainly had wealth to spare. The leader of Haobi sect glared at them with a flushed face, ultimately surrendering in resignation. Seeing the opportune moment, Yundai declared, "Is there anyone else wishing to bid?" The crowd fell silent. The alchemists reveling in their perceived victory, Yundai announced, 1,000,000 spirit stones, once. At that moment, a cool, deep voice resonated from the third floor. 1,500,000 spirit stones. A gasp rippled through the audience. Someone else was bidding. This was becoming a matter of financial ruin. Lan Qingming was also astonished, realizing the third floor housed a true magnate, and the voice sounded vaguely familiar. The alchemists, unable to express their ire, shouted, 2,000,000 spirit stones. My goodness, the price of a divine beast has skyrocketed tenfold. Thankfully, I am not in possession of such wealth. After all, it was a divine beast. Its significance was unparalleled, far beyond mere gold and silver. Lan Yexing glanced at the second prince, lost in his carnal reverie, wishing to kick him aside for his utter lack of financial support. She had anticipated he would assist her in acquiring the divine beast, only to discover he was bereft of funds. Unable to contain her disdain, she muttered, "What a waste!" The thought of having lost her purity because of him ignited a murderous rage within her. And she seethed. Lan Qingming, this is all your fault. The mysterious bidder on the third floor continued. 2,500,000 spirit stones. The alchemist's expressions shifted dramatically, as they never expected the leading figure from the third floor to escalate the bidding further, causing their anticipated prize to slip away. "Elder, we have already spent our entire budget. We cannot increase our bid any further," a young alchemist implored. "But you do not yet possess a contracted beast." This one seemed suitable. "Yet it has been seized by another," the elder sighed, ultimately conceding. "We withdraw our bid," Yundai beamed. 2,500,000 once, 2, 500, 000 twice, 2, 500, 000 thrice. Thus, the Azure Dragon belongs to the patron of the third floor. Following the auction, the remaining items were rather mundane, and to her surprise, Lan Qingming acquired a set of cloud needles. "Master, why did you purchase this?" "You have no medical skills," Xiao Ling inquired, puzzled. "I can learn." Acquiring some medical knowledge could be vital for survival. Acupuncture can treat numerous ailments, Lan Qingming responded. "Very well," Xiao Ling nodded in agreement. The auction had concluded, yet many disciples from various sects lingered, observing the movements from the third floor. After collecting her spirit stones and items, Lan Qingming intended to exit through the back door, only to find numerous individuals wielding swords stationed nearby. "Master, what are they doing here?" Xiao Ling asked out of course. "They are here to rob us," she replied. This was one of the reasons she had hesitated to participate in the auction. Not only would she spend a fortune, but there was no guarantee the items would end up in her possession. Maintaining an attitude of detachment, Lan Qingming prepared to return to Mingyue Tower. However, halfway through her journey, She heard the sounds of a scuffle occurring on her path. Caught in indecision, she opted to take refuge under an eave and observe. Outside, dozens of sword-wielding individuals surrounded two men, demanding, "Surrender the Azure Dragon, and we shall spare your lives." The two masked men in the center were confronted by a man in blue who boldly declared, "Do you know who we are? How dare you attempt to ambush us? Are you prepared to lose your lives here?" The man in white unsheathed a blue sword, coldly retorting, "Hao Tian, stop wasting time with them." The two factions engaged in a fierce battle. But the sheer number of adversaries, comprising various forces eager to seize the prize, led to some lying in wait for an opportunity to swoop in. The man in blue was ambushed by the leader of Haobi sect, who struck him with a sword, staining his back with blood. Lan Qingming suddenly caught sight of a jade pendant hanging from the man in white's waist, her heart racing in alarm as she stood up abruptly. "Master, what is wrong?" Xiao Ling asked. Lan Qingming pointed at the pendant, exclaiming, "Isn't that my pendant? It even bears my name." "Ah, master, think about whom you gave it to," Xiao Ling urged. "Qi Qingchen," she gasped, witnessing the man's mask being torn. Lan Qingming swiftly harnessed her spiritual energy, transforming it into a fireball aimed at the assailant, then rushed to Qi Qingchen's side, supporting him with concern. "Are you all right?" Qi Qingchen gazed at her with piercing intensity, gently asking, "What brings you here? I saw your pendant at your waist. It terrified me. I almost thought you were meeting your demise," Lan Qingming retorted. Ning Haoyan clutched his chest, adopting a jesting tone. "Wow. Where did this beautiful young man spring from? Do take care not to get hurt. Those legs of yours are too delicate to withstand injury." Lan Qingming. "How is he still so talkative even while injured?" The leader of Haobi's sect leisurely remarked. "Oh, another one has arrived. Are you a comrade of theirs, come to die?" A throng of individuals surrounded them, the three of them bracing back-to-back for combat. Suddenly, Lan Qingming recalled that she had concocted a poison, corrosion powder. She handed them both packets of the powder and whispered, "Do not engage in battle yet. Sprinkle this on them," she warned. "Make sure your hands do not touch it." "All right," Qi Qingchen readily agreed, placing his trust in her. Ning Haoyan questioned in confusion, "What is this?" "Don't worry about it. Just hurry," Lan Qingming urged. "Then we must flee swiftly." With a commanding shout, the leader of Haobi's sect ordered, "Kill them and retrieve the Azure Dragon." A swarm of individuals surged forward, and the trio took advantage of their moment of vulnerability to scatter the powder. The crowd momentarily froze, perplexed by their actions, while Lan Qingming moved swiftly among them, liberally sprinkling the corrosion powder. "Help! The powder is causing my skin to rot and itch." Panic erupted as the crowd began to scream, their skin rapidly deteriorating. The leader of Haobi's sect, still in a daze, shouted, "What are you all screeching about? Hurry and capture them." Those who had been splashed with the powder turned into mere skeletons, and upon witnessing this horrifying spectacle, some began to plead for mercy. "Please, grant me the antidote. I will no longer attempt to seize your Azure Dragon." As others witnessed their peers kneeling, they too dropped to their knees, wailing, though the rate of their decay quickened. Ning Haoyan stared in shock at the unfolding scene. Swallowing hard, feeling a chill of fear, "Brother, you truly are ruthless." Qi Qingchen slapped him on the head, urging, "Let us go." Lan Qingming addressed them with an apologetic tone. "I'm sorry, there is no antidote. You brought this upon yourselves." The trio returned to Mingyue Tower, where Lan Qingming quickly changed into a gown of red, feeling uncomfortable in the male attire. Descending the stairs, she puzzledly asked, "Why haven't you left? Do you intend to spend the night here?" Before Qi Qingchen could respond, Ning Haoyan circled around her in astonishment, exclaiming, "So you are the illustrious woman who met with Qingchen that day. You are truly remarkable," he continued. "I heard you schooled those infatuated fools, especially that pretentious Lan Diexing." Lan Qingming found his reaction amusing. "What? Surely you don't have feelings for her." Chapter 32. Bringing people back to Mingyue Palace. Ning Haoyan immediately leapt up, exclaiming in disdain, "How could I ever like her? She pales in comparison to the courtesans of the brothels." His remark elicited laughter from Lan Qingming, revealing that there were indeed individuals who could see through Lan Diexing's fade. Clearing his throat, Qi Qingchen interjected, unable to endure their diversion any longer. "By the way, Ming'er, what are your plans for the future? Where will you go?" Qi Qingchen inquired, his tone somewhat awkward. Ning Haoyan watched in wide-eyed astonishment. Realizing his brother had never been so proactive with a woman before, was he experiencing feelings of infatuation? Lan Qingming replied, I plan to return to Mingyue Palace. You are welcome to join me for a visit anytime. Ning Haoyan's eyes lit up, eagerly asking, Is that true? Yes. What is Mingyue Palace like? I've heard only those with talent may enter, and the resources for cultivation are abundant, he continued. Lan Qingming smiled gently, clarifying, It is quite spacious, and not only those with talent can enter. As long as you can cultivate, most can gain entry. There is a cultivation tower that you may want to try. The spiritual energy inside is 10 times that of the outside world. The higher you climb, the more potent the energy becomes. Ning Haoyan rushed to her side, brimming with excitement. I have heard of it. He nudged the upright Qi Qingchen with his elbow, intentionally playing the role of a facilitator for the two, saying, Why not join us? After all, we have nothing to do in the snow capital. Qi Qingchen nodded in agreement. All right. Lan Qingming produced 2 bottles of spiritual spring water and handed them to them. You can use this for healing when you return, either topically or internally. Thank you, Miss Lan. Ning Haoyan quickly accepted. What you give is surely of high quality. I must thank you for saving me last time. It was a trifling matter that I plan to leave tomorrow. You all should pack up and then notify me. We shall meet outside the city gate to avoid raising suspicion with too many people around. Qi Qingchen hesitated for a moment and asked, Will those 2 be accompanying you? Lan Qingming nodded. Yes. Because her brother needs healing. The following day, outside the city gate, Lan Qingming led Yi Feier and others out of the city, while Qi Qingchen and his companion disguised themselves before emerging. Miss Lan. Ning Haoyan, with his straightforward and warm nature, waved and called out from a distance. He looked curiously at the Yi siblings. Hello. I am Ning Haoyan. I am Yi Feier, and this is my brother. Yijing Yi Feier was very polite to Lan Qingming's friends, especially since this person seemed easy to get along with. Ha ha ha, your name is as beautiful as you are. Ning Haoyan deployed his charming tactics once more. Yi Feier replied, Thank you. Lan Qingming summoned Xiaobai and leaped onto it. Come aboard, everyone. Be careful, Yijing. Qi Qingchen felt a pang of jealousy seeing her concern for the delicate young man. His gaze darkening. Yijing, on the other hand, smiled sweetly, resembling a gentle husband from ancient times. Qi Qingchen found himself irritated by his seemingly fragile demeanor, which drew Lan Qingming's sympathy. The key was that he could not voice his feelings, lest he appear petty, especially since he lacked the rightful status to send this person away. Xiaobai spread its wings and carried them towards the Mingyue Palace. Yi Feier couldn't help but exclaim, Wow! Is this the cultivation sect? So grand. Ning Haoyan, visiting for the first time, was equally curious. Is that a martial arts arena? I see 2 people sparring there. Lan Qingming nodded. Indeed. Yi Feier couldn't restrain her curiosity and asked, Qingming, at what age did you arrive at Mingyue Palace? I heard the recruitment of disciples here is quite strict. Qi Qingchen was also eager to hear the answer, focusing intently on her. Lan Qingming reminisced about the past. Feeling a twinge of sadness, I arrived at the age of 8, rescued by my master in the misty forest. Yi Feier exclaimed. You must be incredibly talented. As they reached the entrance of the main hall of Mingyue Palace, they called out, Master, Uncle Lin, I'm back. A deep, resonant voice responded. Ha, little girl, have you finally gotten wild outside and reluctant to return? Lan Qingming entered the grand hall, where Ouyang sat at the head. Not at all. Master, I came back bringing gifts. Oh? What is it? Ouyang asked with a warm smile, waving to the others behind her to take a seat. Lan Qingming took out a blood spirit grass and several bottles of elixirs from her space and pushed them forward. Master, although I know you have no need for these, it's a small token of my gratitude. Ha, well, it seems you had a fruitful journey. Ouyang opened the elixir bottles, and a rich aroma wafted forth. Disciple, did you refine these second-grade elixirs? Lan Qingming nodded. Yes, I taught myself, having sought numerous alchemy books from Daoist Qing. Fearing her master might doubt her self-study, she shifted the blame to Daoist Qing. Very good, very good. Ouyang was increasingly pleased with his little disciple, noting not only her exceptional talent, but also her strong comprehension skills. Yi Feier couldn't help but exclaim, Qingming, you are amazing. Not only do you possess such high cultivation at a young age, but you've also self-taught alchemy. Ning Haoyan couldn't help but click his tongue, jokingly saying, What are we, those of average talent, to do? Qi Qingchen smiled brightly. genuinely happy for her excellence. Realizing she had yet to introduce them, Lan Qingming said, "This is my master, and also the palace lord of Mingyue Palace." Although they had anticipated this, they were still taken aback and hastily bowed in greeting. "Greetings, palace lord." "Ha ha ha, greetings to you all." Ouyingyu was a very approachable person. "Master, these are my friends, Qi Qingchen, Ning Haoyin, Yi Feier, and Yi Jing." Lan Qingming introduced one by one. "All right, then arrange a room for them to stay," Ouyingyu commanded. "Thank you, palace lord." The others expressed their gratitude before heading to their respective rooms. Ouyingyu kept Lan Qingming behind for a conversation, and the master and disciple sat across from each other, sipping tea. "Master, is there something you need?" Ouyingyu pondered for a moment. "Disciple, there is a matter I wish to entrust to you." "What is it?" "It is the competition among all sects that occurs every 5 years. I hope you can lead the other disciples to participate. However, before that, you must take part in our sect's internal selection competition." Lan Qingming readily agreed. "No problem. When is the competition?" "The internal competition will be in about half a month, and the sect competition will follow a month and a half later. Any of the top 3 will receive rewards." Lan Qingming was very interested in the rewards. "What are the rewards?" Chapter 33. Breaking through to the 4th stage of Huangling, I heard the first prize is an 8th grade elixir and 100,000 spirit stones. The second prize is a Qiyuan sword, and the third is an alchemy furnace, Ouyangyu explained. Lan Qingming's eyes lit up. "Wow, I must strive for first place. That's a substantial sum." "Pfft, you little money grubber, are you that confident? The young masters of the other sects are quite formidable. Securing the first place will be quite challenging," Ouyingyu teased. Lan Qingming thought to herself that she had no need for the second or third prizes, as she already possessed those. Curious, Lan Qingming asked, "Master, what stage are the young masters of those sects currently at? Do I still have time to catch up?" Ouyangyu chuckled heartily. "Last year, we placed 5th, with over 20 sects participating. The young masters of the top 4 sects are all above Huangling." Lan Qingming circulated her spirit energy. "Master, how many are stronger than me?" "The one with the highest spirit energy is the young master of the Hanguang Palace at Huangling 7th stage, followed by the young master of the Ansha sect at Huangling 6th stage, the young master of the Baishui sect at Huangling 5th stage, and the young master of the Haobai sect at Huangling 4th stage." Lan Qingming was taken aback and suddenly felt a wave of discouragement. "Master, their spirit energy is higher than mine. Will I be a burden to you?" Ouyingyu presented a snow mountain lotus. "I harvested this from the snow mountain. It can aid you in breaking through 2 stages. I believe in your capabilities." Lan Qingming gazed at the pristine lotus, quickly declining. "Master, this gift is too precious. I cannot accept it. Please keep it for yourself." Ouyangyu pressed it into her hands. "All right, this gift was originally meant for you. Remember, not only must you participate in the martial arts competition, but you must also enter an alchemy contest." Lan Qingming nodded. "Thank you, Master, but I am currently only a 2nd-grade alchemist and likely won't win any awards. No matter. Consider it as practice. Moreover, you are younger than the young masters from other sects." Ouyangyu intended to use this competition to train her and assess her suitability for inheriting the position of sect leader. When Lan Qingming returned to her room, she found Qi Qingchen waiting for her. "What brings you here?" Lan Qingming asked, puzzled. Qi Qingchen presented her with a leaf. "This is for you. I acquired it at the auction last time and thought you would like it." Lan Qingming excitedly accepted. "Wow. It's a Bodhi leaf. I saw a customer on the 3rd floor bid a high price for it and decided against it. Such a precious item. Are you really giving it to me? It can help focus the mind, beneficial for cultivators, and can prevent the growth of inner demons." Qi Qingchen smiled faintly. "I don't want it. It's for you." "Thank you." Lan Qingming felt elated and noticed his hesitation. Asking, "Do you have something to say?" Qi Qingchen felt conflicted inside, fearing that if he asked, they might not even remain friends. "I want to ask you a question, but please don't be upset." "All right." Lan Qingming nodded. "Go ahead," Qi Qingchen inquired. "Do you have someone you like? Or do you like Yi Jing?" After uttering these words, he regretted it instantly, cautiously observing her expression. "What? I'm only 11. How could I possibly have someone I like? Besides, I merely want to assist a patient," Lan Qingming clarified. Qi Qingchen then breathed a sigh of relief. "All right then, I suppose I was overthinking it. My apologies." Lan Qingming patted his shoulder. "It's fine. Now, I need to prepare the elixirs for Yi Jing, then I will go into seclusion to cultivate." Qi Qingchen suddenly asked, Are you preparing to participate in the sect competition next month? How do you know? Are you participating too? Lan Qingming raised an eyebrow, but I've never heard which sect the third prince belongs to. Qi Qingchen explained. I secretly established an intelligence organization called the Ansha sect. In previous years, it was my brothers who went. This year, it will be me. I think I heard my master mention this sect before. Are you currently at Huangling's 6th stage? Qi Qingchen nodded. Yes. Lan Qingming refined a bottle of detoxifying elixir and delivered it to Yi Jing. Afterwards, she ascended to the 7th floor of the cultivation tower. As soon as she sat down, she felt a rich flow of spirit energy surging into her being. Little Ling reminded her, Young master, you are about to break through. A quarter of an hour later, Lan Qingming, utterly exhausted, opened her bright eyes and exclaimed, Xiaoling, I have broken through. Now, please assist me in planting the Bodhi leaf tree. Of course, young master. Xiaoling swiftly planted the Bodhi leaf in the fertile black soil, then used the spiritual spring water to expedite its growth. Lan Qingming swallowed the snow mountain lotus flower and suddenly felt a chilling flow in her dantian. As her spiritual root was being purified, transforming into a more refined fire spiritual root. Her meridians also expanded significantly, and after about an hour, her spiritual root had blossomed into a vibrant flame. Xiaoling joyfully called out, Young master, you have broken through to the yellow spirit 4th stage. With just over a month of cultivation, you will surely reach the 5th stage. Indeed, Lan Qingming replied, taking out her alchemy furnace and medicinal materials. My master mentioned that I must participate in the alchemy competition, so I shall first attempt to refine a top-grade 3rd stage elixir. This will give me more confidence. Xiaoling nodded in agreement. All right, young master. At that moment, Qi Qingchen and his companions were climbing the cultivation tower. Yi Feier paused at the 3rd level, while Ning Haoyan sat in meditation on the 4th. Qi Qingchen, knowing she was on the 7th floor, endeavored to reach that level as well, but by the time he reached the 6th, he was already overwhelmed. Upon reaching the 7th floor, his vision blurred, and he faintly saw a woman in white approaching him. It seemed to be her. Lan Qingming helped the fainted Qi Qingchen to his feet, fed him a medicinal pill, and then took out a needle to prick him several times, using her spiritual power to examine his body. She was surprised to discover that he had just broken through to the 1st stage and was now at the yellow spirit 7th stage. A day later, Qi Qingchen awoke groggily, finding himself lying on a small wooden bed. He saw a girl beside him refining elixirs and called out, Minger, you're awake. Do you feel better? Not bad. You were able to climb to the 7th floor. Your physical condition is impressive, Lan Qingming praised, making Qi Qingchen feel somewhat bashful. Actually, I was already struggling by the 6th floor, but thinking that you had reached the 7th, I bit the bullet and persevered. While speaking, Qi Qingchen couldn't help but steal glances at her. The girl, clad in white, appeared fresh and unpretentious, unlike her previous flamboyant red attire. Yet, both styles possessed their unique beauty, which he found quite appealing. Lan Qingming reminded him, there are rooms over there where you can cultivate. The spiritual energy is abundant, and the opportunity is rare. All right, Qi Qingchen said reluctantly as he entered the room. More than anything, he realized that he must become stronger in order to have the chance to protect her. 3 days later, Lan Qingming joyfully opened the alchemy furnace and exclaimed, I did it! Congratulations, young master, Xiaoling cheered. You have finally refined a top-grade 3rd stage rejuvenation pill. Master, we need not worry about the alchemy competition now. Qiu Bai added. Lan Qingming carefully placed the elixir into a vial, contemplating refining a few more batches of 3rd stage elixirs. Xiaoling, you can have these elixirs first. She stored the vial in her spatial ring. Xiaoling eagerly accepted, excitedly opening it to inhale the fragrant aroma of the elixirs. Thank you, young master. Subsequently, Lan Qingming continued refining several more batches, ensuring her technique was proficient before stopping. Realizing the selection competition within the palace was about to commence, she hurriedly exited the cultivation tower. Upon arriving at the arena, she found it teeming with disciples. A few sharp-eyed disciples spotted her and quickly bowed in greeting. Senior sister, you are also participating in the competition. Yes, Lan Qingming replied politely, offering a shy smile that left the male disciples momentarily bashful. Today, she donned a pristine white palace robe, and her tall figure stood out among the crowd. Her radiant, delicate face glowed like warm jade, with a soft luster that seemed almost ethereal. Below her petite, well-defined nose lay a pair of rosy lips, and her bright eyes, framed by delicate brows, accentuated her beauty. Ouyang Yu and several elders were seated on the platform. Lan Qingming winked at her master, who transmitted a voice of encouragement. Do your best. We have a few disciples here with higher spiritual powers. Rest assured, you must have faith in your disciples' abilities. Lan Qingming confidently declared, patting her chest. Haha. Well, since you are so confident, I eagerly await your splendid performance. Shine brightly. Ouyang Yu chuckled as the match commenced. The referee announced the rules. 2 individuals would randomly draw lots to compete, and losing a round would result in defeat. Later, there would also be a challenge round, where one could challenge another competitor, provided the opponent accepted. Lan Qingming stood at the forefront, surrounded by a throng of disciples. And among the 8 others in the first row, she did not recognize any of them. Suddenly, one of them patted her on the back, saying, Come on, little uncle, you can do it. Surprised, Lan Qingming turned to see Meng Nanqi. She suddenly felt compelled to inquire, Hey, Nanqi, do you know who has the highest cultivation here? Meng Nanqi became animated and quickly began listing the palace's recognized prodigies. Little master uncle, the one with the highest cultivation is Duan Chang'e. He's already at the Yellow Spirit 6th stage at the age of 28. He is very approachable and is considered a great person in the palace. He patiently guides younger disciples with lower spiritual power-seeking cultivation advice. Most importantly, he is quite handsome. Meng Nanqi's eyes sparkled with admiration. Hearing her enthusiastic recounting, Lan Qingming felt it was becoming increasingly exaggerated and quickly interrupted. Ahem, perhaps you could tell me about other disciples with relatively high cultivation levels in the palace. Implicitly, she sought to know their exact stages, as understanding oneself and the opponent is key to achieving victory in battle. Feeling a bit shy, Meng Nanqi scratched her head and replied, All right, little master uncle. Zhou Wang is at the Yellow Spirit 4th stage. The others are all below the 4th stage. Lan Qingming nodded, feeling informed. The next moment, she heard the referee calling her name. Next match, Lan Qingming versus Ding Xinyao. Lan Qingming gathered her spiritual energy and soared onto the competition platform, where a cute girl also ascended. They exchanged friendly fist bumps. Senior sister, please go easy on me. Ding Xinyao playfully joked. I shall concede. Feel free to unleash your full prowess, junior sister. Lan Qingming responded with a gentle smile, captivating the young men in the audience. Her carefree smile radiated infectious confidence, making them believe she was destined to win. Ding Xinyao drew a water blue sword and charged at Lan Qingming, the sword's light gleaming like a rainbow, embodying a harmonious fusion of person and weapon. Lan Qingming was taken aback by the formidable sword intent displayed by her opponent right at the onset of the match. She quickly focused her mind and employed the ethereal steps to evade swiftly. The sword seemed to possess a consciousness, relentlessly pursuing her. Left with no choice, Lan Qingming summoned the god-slaying sword to defend. Both their powerful water and fire spiritual forces clashing fiercely, with neither yielding to the other. Historically, water and fire are incompatible, and Lan Qingming was surprised to discover that this girl possessed a water spiritual root. And her cultivation had also reached the Yellow Spirit 4th stage. Ouyang Yu stood up anxiously. Now, Qingming has encountered a formidable opponent, a water spiritual root whose spiritual power is on par with hers. The elder stroked his graying beard, his expression serious. Xinyao's talent is exceptional. Although Yunyao's swordsmanship should surpass hers, it is surprising that she is holding her own with such speed. The disciples below watched intently, some even placing bets. I'm definitely betting on Sister Ding. She is the best female disciple of Mingyue Palace. But junior sister Lan is no slouch either. She has reached the 7th level of the cultivation tower and is personally taught by the palace master. However, Sister Ding is somewhat older, so her practical experience must be far richer. Many placed their bets on Ding Xinyao, while Meng Nanqi quickly pulled out all her belongings. I'm betting on little master uncle. She will definitely win. The crowd stared in astonishment as she placed 1,000 spiritual stones on the betting table. They cautioned, Meng junior sister, you should think carefully. If junior sister Lan loses, you could be left destitute. Little master uncle will not lose, Meng Nanqi asserted confidently. Seeing her determination, the onlookers shook their heads and walked away, while those who bet on Ding Xinyao smiled, thinking about their impending profits. The 2 competitors sustained some sword wounds during the match, and Ding Xinyao took a rejuvenation pill to restore her spiritual energy. Lan Qingming, having not encountered such a satisfying opponent in a long time, called out, "Let us continue." "All right," Ding Xinyao replied, retracting her sword and forming a gesture of prayer. The surrounding spiritual energy began to coalesce, transforming into blocks of snowflake-like ice crystals, which gleamed with a chilling light and rushed toward Lan Qingming. Reacting swiftly, Lan Qingming formed seals with her hands. Chanting, flame sword technique, first form, blazing flames of bone erosion, a massive fireball formed, and as the ice crystals drew near, they rapidly melted into droplets. The disciples below felt the temperature rise suddenly from the previous chill. Ding Xinyao frowned, surprised that Lan Qingming's fireball was so powerful, rendering her ice crystals ineffective. The spectators gasped. "Look, Sister Ding is about to use her ultimate move. Icebound Miles. Tisk. TSK. Poor junior sister Lan will have it tough now. That move once left me frozen for 3 hours, an icy sensation penetrating to the bone." A male disciple holding a sword remarked, "Indeed, every time Sister Ding uses that technique, anyone within a kilometer is turned into a statue." The disciples buzzed with discussion. Lan Qingming felt the air gradually solidifying as ice spread across the ground. She swiftly harnessed her spiritual power to conjure a wall of flames for defense. The elements of ice and fire clashed, with the ice near the flames slowly melting, while the fire began to cool. Lan Qingming, with her delicate lips, commanded, "Flame sword technique. Second move, infernal blaze." The flames surged forth, dissolving the ice beneath and encircling Ding Xinyao. Inching closer, her clothes and hair were on the brink of being scorched, prompting her to cry out to the referee, "Ah, I concede. Quickly extinguish the flames. Ah, my hair! Help!" Upon seeing this, Lan Qingming quickly extinguished the fire, and the referee proclaimed loudly, "Lan Qingming wins." The crowd of disciples was left in disbelief, while Ming Nanshi joyfully collected a substantial amount of spirit stones, and those who had bet on Ding Xinyao lamented their losses. Lan Qingming retrieved a cloak from her spatial pouch and offered it to Ding Xinyao, saying, "Junior Sister Ding, I apologize for the incident earlier. I accidentally singed your hair. Please wear this cloak for now." Ding Xinyao beamed, revealing 2 adorable dimples, her hair ornaments jingling as she accepted the cloak. "Thank you, Senior Sister It wasn't your fault. Such things happen in competitions, and I too share some responsibility that moment." Ming Nanshi, clutching a bag of spirit stones, bounced over with great enthusiasm, boasting as she shook the bag. "Senior sisters, while you were fiercely battling up there, I set up a betting pool down here for the disciples. I bet on Junior Uncle and I made quite a fortune from you both. Ha 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 Nanshi, why not share some of that with us? After all, we contributed." Ding Xinyao jested. Lan Qingming smiled sweetly. "Where's this betting pool? Let me try my luck as well." Ming Nanshi pointed to a table in the corner, surrounded by a throng of people. "Right there." Ding Xinyao shook her head, chuckling helplessly. "Senior Sister Lan, please don't let this little girl lead you astray. She's always tinkering with such things." Lan Qingming's eyes sparkled as she whispered, "Actually, I'm quite similar to Junior Sister Ming. Haha. I also enjoy making money. Who wouldn't he want more?" Ding Xinyao, taken aback to find such a wise woman sharing her interests, laughed. "Haha, indeed, birds of a feather flock together. Why don't we team up? I've been lacking spirit stones lately and could use some to buy pills. The prices in the market are exorbitant. A single first-grade spirit replenishing pill costs 300 spirit stones. My little purse is nearly empty." Suddenly, Lan Qingming produced several bottles of pills and a large bottle of spiritual spring water, offering them to her. "Junior Sister Ding, here you go." "What? Senior Sister Lan, this is too precious. I cannot accept," Ding Xinyao exclaimed, waving her hands in a fluster. Every cultivator yearns for pills, yet alchemists are rare, making pills generally quite expensive. The items given by Senior Sister Lan must be worth over 1,000 spirit stones. "I don't have that many," Lan Qingming explained with a sigh. "It's all right. I can refine more if you truly feel uncomfortable accepting this. How about you gather some herbs for me next time?" Ding Xinyao, sensing the kindness behind her words, felt touched and accepted the offering, saying, "Thank you, Senior Sister Lan." Ming Nanshi was dumbfounded, exclaiming, "Junior Uncle, it turns out not only do you cook deliciously, but you also know how to refine pills." Lan Qingming, aware of her cravings, suggested, "Shall we cook something together next time?" Yes, yes. Ming Nanshi perked up at the mention of food. "Junior Uncle, You have no idea how terrible the food at the sect is. It's nowhere near as good as what you make. Ding Xinyao chimed in curiously. Wow, I've been fasting for quite a while. I would love to taste some earthly delights. Take me along next time. Lan Qingming replied with a gentle smile. After meeting Lan Qingming today, Ding Xinyao found her to be unlike other prodigies. She was approachable and even willing to give away so many precious items. Soon after, Lan Qingming was called to spar with Zhou Wang, and the two exchanged blows fiercely, but ultimately, Lan Qingming emerged victorious by a narrow margin. The finals approached, and several elders convened to discuss. The third elder, who was Duan Changyi's master, proposed, "Why not have this year's dark horse, Lan Qingming, face my disciple Duan Changyi? He has held the title for several years. If Lan Qingming manages to defeat him, it would be a fair victory, and the disciples would accept it wholeheartedly." The grand elder nodded in agreement. Indeed, let us first consult the palace master. Ouyangyu, curious to see how her disciple would fare against a higher-tier opponent, consented. Upon receiving permission, the referee quickly asked both parties for their opinions. Duan Changyi's eyes sparkled with eagerness as he locked gazes with Lan Qingming. He was keen to witness the strength of this junior sister who had bested the two top disciples of Mingyue Palace, Ding Xinyao and Zhou Wang. The surrounding disciples also clamored, "Fight, fight, fight," eager to see who would triumph. Lan Qingming and Duan Changyi took to the stage simultaneously, the atmosphere electrifying. Duan Changyi, clad in a blue robe, was a strikingly handsome young man. "Come, senior sister Lan, you may go first." His fiery gaze was filled with mutual respect for his peer. Lan Qingming drew her sword of godslaying and initiated the attack, employing her ethereal footwork to position herself behind him. Duan Changyi, quick to respond, retaliated. Ouyangyu commented, "Duan Changyi's swordplay is assertive, while Qingming's technique is elusive and unpredictable, making it difficult to anticipate her strikes from behind." The third elder stroked his beard thoughtfully. In terms of swordplay, Duan Changyi may be at a disadvantage, yet he possesses a two-tier advantage in spiritual power. Lan Qingming promptly channeled her spiritual energy, her delicate lips parting to invoke flame sword technique. Third move, fiery barriered it was her first attempt at the third move, gathering all her mental focus into a five-pointed star formation of flames, radiant with red runes and patterns that exuded an aura of danger and allure. Duan Changyi recited an incantation, his hand seals shifting in myriad forms, summoning a golden pillar from the heavens. Both were suddenly thrust backward by the overwhelming spiritual force, crashing to the ground and spitting blood. Chapter 36. Qi Qingchen departs. The referee swiftly intervened, declaring, "This match ends in a draw." The crowd erupted in astonishment. They had not anticipated Lan Qingming to hold her ground against Duan Changyi, who was 2 tiers above her. "Junior uncle, you're amazing," Meng Nanshi cheered, rushing to support Lan Qingming. Ouyangyu beamed with pride, while the third elder praised, "Palace Master, you've indeed found a remarkable talent. She can battle beyond her tier and still secure a draw. Her future is limitless." The second elder nodded in agreement, smiling. Below, Lan Qingming consumed a pill to recover, as Duan Changyi approached, supported by others. Admiration glinting in his eyes, "Senior sister Lan, you truly are impressive. This match was destined for my loss. If it weren't for your leniency at the end, I would have lost face," he humbly bowed, but then coughed up blood. Duan Shixiao. Disciples nearby hurriedly offered to help clean his wounds. Seeing this, Lan Qingming presented a bottle of spiritual spring water to him. "Senior brother, please tend to your injuries first. This can be taken internally or applied externally, with effects surpassing that of ordinary pills." Duan Changyi gazed at her with intense gratitude, his eyes shining. "Thank you, senior sister Lan. As the competition concluded, Duan Changyi stood on stage to announce the final results. The arena falling silent. The representatives from Mingyue Palace for the upcoming sect competition were finally revealed. Lan Qingming, Duan Changyi, Meng Nanshi, Ding Xinyao, Anyun, Zhu Guang, and Yebei. Let us congratulate them. Applause and cheers erupted from the audience, predominantly composed of the elders' disciples and some seasoned cultivators. Ouyang's voice resonated, amplified by spiritual power, ensuring every disciple could hear. "Now, I must announce an even more significant matter." The elders exchanged glances, seemingly anticipating the forthcoming announcement that I intend to appoint Lan Qingming as the young palace mistress of Mingyue Palace. and lead the team to participate in the sect competition. You are all to respect her and heed her commands." "Yes," the young disciples responded in unison, their voices ringing clear. Lan Qingming stood in disbelief on stage, softly calling, "Master." Ouyang beckoned her forward, presenting her with a jade token of the young palace mistress. "From now on, you may use this to manage affairs within the palace." The elders were taken aback. The palace master was entrusting her with such responsibilities. Lan Qingming felt tears welling in her eyes. She had initially thought her arrival in this foreign world would leave her vulnerable and alone. To her surprise, her master not only provided her with a warm home, but also granted her a position of status and authority within the palace. "Thank you, Master." Lan Qingming performed a bow of gratitude as the sect competition approached. Qi Qingchen emerged from the cultivation tower, preparing to return to the Dark Shark sect. He had been waiting outside Lan Qingming's alchemy room for quite some time. The door creaked open, revealing a disheveled girl whose clothes were somewhat soiled. She seemed surprised to see him. "Qingchen, what are you doing here?" Lan Qingming teased, leaning closer to Ming'er. Qi Qingchen gazed at her radiant face, which he had not seen in days, his throat feeling parched. "I'm leaving and wanted to bid you farewell," he mustered the courage to say, feeling a twinge of reluctance in his heart but unable to voice it. "Oh, right now? Then wait for me to change. I'll walk you to the gate," Lan Qingming insisted, adhering to the custom of seeing guests off properly. Qi Qingchen thought about how he could still spend a little more time with her. "I'm ready." Lan Qingming emerged clad in a fiery red dress, accentuating her alluring curves, her unadorned face revealing an extraordinary beauty. Qi Qingchen was momentarily taken aback, standing frozen in place until Lan Qingming waved her hand in front of his eyes twice, prompting him to react. "Qingchen, you're drooling," Lan Qingming teased with a playful smile that his surprise. Qi Qingchen genuinely believed her, awkwardly touching the corner of his mouth only to realize he had been tricked. "Ming'er, you tricked me." A faint blush adorned his exquisitely handsome face, a mix of embarrassment and indignation, yet he found himself powerless to retaliate. "Ha ha ha, you fell for it yourself." Lan Qingming strode ahead, her silver bell-like laughter eliciting a reluctant smile from Qi Qingchen. As they approached the palace gate, he caught a glimpse of Yijing pushing a wheelchair and suddenly called out to the girl in front of him, "Ming'er." His voice rose above the usual volume, ensuring Yijing could hear. Lan Qingming turned back in confusion. "What's wrong? Why shout so loudly?" Qi Qingchen softly asked. "May I hug you? Let it be a farewell," before Lan Qingming could ponder his request. His towering figure enveloped her petite frame, his arms tightly wrapping around her waist. Instantly, Lan Qingming's face flushed crimson, feeling a bit bashful as she thought, surely, being embraced by a handsome man is a loss. Having never encountered a man in her past life, Lan Qingming felt her heart race, her ears burning with embarrassment. Witnessing this scene, Yijing, feeling desolate, turned away in his wheelchair, observing the pair from a distance as if they were a pair of celestial lovers, while he himself was merely indulging in fanciful thoughts. Qi Qingchen noticed Yijing's departure, a slight smile gracing his lips as he released the flustered Lan Qingming, his tone laced with a hint of apology. "I am sorry, Ming'er, I just found it hard to part ways. I acted rashly just now. Feel free to scold me." Seeing his earnest expression of grievance, Lan Qingming's heart softened unexpectedly, and she stammered, "It's fine." "You should head back." Immediately after her words, she fled, leaving Qi Qingchen to savor the warmth lingering in his hands, chuckling softly, "Ming'er, until we meet again." He then glanced upwards towards the right, exchanging a knowing look with Yijing. Flashing a triumphant smile, he was certain that Yijing had not truly departed, but had merely repositioned himself to observe them from afar. Why Yijing's fingers gripped the wheelchair tightly, realizing Qi Qingchen's expression had not gone unnoticed. Meanwhile, Lan Qingming returned to her room, rolling around in her blanket, exclaiming, "Ah, why did he have to hug me?" She slapped her cheeks, striving to calm herself, inhaling deeply as she recited 10 times, "Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form." Observing her antics, Xiao Ling teased, "Little mistress, it seems you've developed feelings for him. Judging by your bashful demeanor." Lan Qingming retorted, "Impossible. Even if he is handsome, I wouldn't fall for him." "All right then. Little mistress, keep denying it." Lan Qingming resolutely delved into her space for cultivation, closing her eyes to dismiss the earlier incident from her mind. Meanwhile, Qi Qingshun returned to the selection of disciples for the assassination sect. Having already advanced to the 8th stage of Yellow Spirit, he anticipated emerging victorious in the upcoming sect competition. Chapter 37. The sect competition. The sect competition arrived as scheduled, and today, Lan Qingming donned a water blue dress. Making her way to the palace gate to join the others, from a distance, she called out, "Master." Ouyang Yu greeted her with a warm smile. "You little rascal, finally decided to show up? If you were any later, we would have left without you." Lan Qingming replied in her usual coy manner, "Master, I just arrived right on time. Didn't I? Good morning, little Shu." Ming Nanshi hurried over, linking arms with her. "Nanshi," Lan Qingming exclaimed joyfully, greeting the others as well. "Greetings, young palace master." Everyone chimed in unison. Ouyang Yu summoned a flying ship, gesturing for everyone to board. "Come aboard, everyone." Lan Qingming gazed in awe at the flying vessel for the first time, exclaiming, "Wow, master, you have so many magnificent things. This ship must be quite expensive." Ouyang Yu cast her a playful glance, teasing, "Indeed, this ship could purchase an entire Mingyue palace." "What? It's that expensive? Master, you wouldn't buy it, would you?" "Surely, Mingyue Palace isn't so poor that it can't afford to keep its doors open." Lan Qingming's exaggerated expression drew laughter from the crowd. Ha! 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 Laughter erupted around them. Ding Xinya smiled, explaining, "This ship doesn't belong to Mingyue Palace. It has provided for each sect participating in the competition, so we don't need to pay for it. However, flying the ship requires a lot of spirit stones, which our sect covers. That's a relief." "You scared me there." Lan Qingming patted her chest. Ouyang Yu jested, "Qingming, when will you learn to stop treating money as if it were life itself?" Lan Qingming shrugged. "Money is certainly important, making it isn't easy these days." "Ha ha, it's my first time seeing a cultivator so obsessed with wealth. The young palace master truly is a person of character." Duan Changyi laughed heartily. He secretly admired the young palace master's straightforward nature. Unpretentious and not overly delicate, they soon arrived at the entrance of the Hanguang Palace, where the sect competition alternates hosting duties annually, and this year it was Hanguang Palace's turn. As they disembarked from the ship, disciples approached to greet them. "Welcome, young palace master of Mingyue Palace, young palace master, and esteemed guests. Please follow us." A man in green attire bowed. "The sect competition is about to commence. I will take you to the arena. Half of the sects have already arrived." "Understood," Ouyang Yu replied solemnly. Standing beside Ouyang Yu, Lan Qingming entered the arena, spotting several pairs of disciples in different palace robes gathered together. Her sharp eyes caught sight of Qi Qingshun standing with a disciple clad in black. She mouthed a greeting to him, and Qi Qingshun, who had been watching her since her entrance, offered her a gentle smile. His companions, usually exuding a bloodthirsty aura, were taken aback. When had their master become so cheerful? His smile radiated an unexpected warmth. Shocked, could it be that their master had changed? Only Qingshun understood that his master was undoubtedly smiling at Miss Lan. Feeling a sense of pride in witnessing his master finally develop feelings for someone in the past, he had thought his master would never find a woman he liked, but unexpectedly, it happened so soon. It turned out those previous girls simply could not compare to Miss Lan's beauty and intellect, hence his indifference. As Mingyue Palace entered, all eyes from the upper echelons briefly scanned Lan Qingming before pausing with smiles. Ouyang Yu took her seat on the 4th row, while Lan Qingming stood with the disciples of Mingyue Palace, her water blue robe attracting the attention of disciples from other sects as the competition began. The referee announced, "Now, we invite each young palace master to draw lots for their opposing sections." Lan Qingming casually grabbed one and informed her fellow Mingyue disciples, "We are number 4. Everyone, let us prepare and observe how others fight first to learn some tactics." "Yes, let us find the best vantage point," the disciples agreed. The referee declared, "The first match is Hao Bai sect versus Bai Shui sect." The crowd erupted in surprise. Why is the first battle between two major sects? These were both sects that had entered the top 5. However, the young palace master of Hao Bai sect was one rank higher than that of Bai Shui sect, so it was expected that Hao Bai sect would prevail. Someone immediately retorted, "Who says being a rank higher guarantees victory? The outcome is still uncertain. We are all dark horses here." On stage, the young palace master of Hao Bai sect, Junin, taunted, "Bai Shui sect is merely a bunch of weak women. Do they really think they can compete with us? Don't cry when we defeat you." "Huh? Exactly. As long as you surrender voluntarily, we won't bully the women, a tall, fierce-looking man mocked. The women of Bai Shui's sect frowned. And their young palace master, Bai Luoyu, angrily cracked her whip. Shut your filthy mouths. How dare you look down on women today? I'll show you what it means to be a man. Lan Qingming couldn't help but applaud. Wow, this fiery sister is so impressive. Well done. Meng Nanshi quickly chimed in to explain. Little Shirshu, you may not know that there's a long-standing feud between Bai Shui's sect and Hao Bai sect. So they always clash whenever they meet. Lan Qingming, puzzled, asked, what feud? Being new, she hadn't heard much about the internal affairs of the sect since Meng Nanshi pulled her aside. The leaders of Bai Shui's sect and Hao Bai sect were once partners. But they split due to the latter's infidelity. Since then, Bai Shui's sect has decreed that no one from Hao Bai sect, not even their dogs, is allowed entry. Lan Qingming's eyes widened in surprise. She hadn't anticipated such intriguing backstory. She looked back up at the stage, noticing the two leaders seated at opposite ends. That it was clear that the members of Hao Bai sect were struggling, having already lost 3 or 4 members to being kicked off the stage. The young palace master, Junin, continued to boast, you wretched woman. Bai Luoyu stomped on his hand, grinding it down, as Junin screamed, ah, wicked woman, I will kill you. With neither side calling for surrender, the referee could not intervene. Lan Qingming heard the sickening crack of bones breaking. Junin's hand was shattered as Bai Luoyu, clad in a purple skirt, kicked him off the stage, disdainfully brushing her hands. What a waste! Who knows what you were shouting about? Unable to contain her admiration, Lan Qingming gave her a thumbs up. Awesome! Qi Qingchen had been observing her small gestures. Unable to resist a chuckle, Ming'er, we're up next. Huh? You're second? I'm fourth. Good luck. Lan Qingming made a cheering gesture for him. Chapter 38. Winning the match as the referee cleared the battlefield. He announced, the teams that drew number 2, please come forward. Qi Qingshan led 6 disciples from the Dark Shark sect onto the stage, each exuding a bloodthirsty aura that instilled a sense of dread and apprehension in the disciples from the Sea Saint Palace. The Dark Shark sect was notorious for accepting assassination contracts. Thus they were accustomed to a life steeped in violence, embodying an indomitable spirit that was unafraid of death, qualities that were far beyond the pampered disciples of other cultivation sections. In contrast, the Dark Shark sect possessed far richer combat experience, striking with ruthless precision in every attack. The Sea Saint Palace's master furrowed his brow, fully aware of the formidable challenge that lay ahead. He was well aware of his disciples' capabilities, and even more so, the enigmatic strength of the Dark Shark sect's young master. Lan Qingming's gaze remained fixed on Qi Qingchen's movements. He refrained from intervening, allowing his disciples to engage first. Yet the Sea Saint Palace's disciples were unable to even graze his robes. The young master of the Sea Saint Palace was currently under assault by a disciple from the Dark Shark sect, wielding daggers and excelling in close combat. Unfortunately, his fellow disciples failed to analyze the situation and discern the enemy's weaknesses in less than the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn. Qi Qingshan waved his hand, commanding, all right, let's wrap this up. There's no need to drag this out any longer. At his command, the disciples of the Dark Shark sect swiftly dispatched the Sea Saint Palace's disciples from the stage. The onlookers below displayed a mix of admiration and fear, exclaiming, the young master of the Dark Shark sect is incredibly powerful. He didn't even lift a finger, and thank goodness our Thunder Palace didn't face them. Otherwise, we'd likely suffer the same fate. That a female disciple gazed at him with starry eyes, expressing her admiration. The young master of the Dark Shark sect is so handsome and strong. How wonderful it would be if I could marry him. Another girl retorted, you? Don't be ridiculous. Lin Miao Miao. You are being too much. The girl charged forward, ready to confront her. The masters of various sects on stage exchanged knowing glances. Ouyang Yu chuckled. Indeed, the waves of the Yangtze River push the waves ahead. The previous generation perishes on the beach. This young master of the Dark Shark sect is merely 15 years old and already at the 8th level of Huangling. He will face no rivals in this arena. Ha ha ha. Other sect masters relayed messages to their disciples, urging them to be cautious of the Dark Shark sect and to avoid confrontation if possible, lest they suffer a humiliating defeat. The master of the Cold Vast sect stroked his beard and jested, ha ha ha. With the Dark Shark sect so dominant this year, it seems our first position may well be relinquished. Our cultivation is a level lower than theirs. Ouyang Yu laughed in agreement. Your cold vast sect has claimed first place for years. It's about time you allow us trailing sects a chance. Haha ha.is the Mingyue Palace also hoping to contend. Then let it be decided by strength. Let us all vie for the first position. The words of the cold vast sect's master ignited the enthusiasm of the crowd. For the reward for first place was exceedingly generous. Who wouldn't want to claim it? As Qi Qingchen descended, Lan Qingming remarked with a smile. Impressive. Qi Qingchen, flattered, felt his ears warm and lowered his gaze shyly. The referee then announced, next, we invite the team that drew number 4 to take the stage. As Lan Qingming passed by Qi Qingchen, he gently encouraged, Ming'er, do your best. Lan Qingming responded with a smile as he led his disciples onto the stage. To everyone's surprise, the team that emerged was the Cold Vast Sect, which had dominated first place in previous years. Qi Qingchen frowned. Ming'er is 2 levels below Wu Jihuan. How could she encounter them in the first match? Even Ouyang Yu on stage could not remain composed, unable to suppress a grimace. Qingming, what kind of luck is this? Drawing the strongest opponent right off the bat. The master of the Cold Vast Sect wore a smiling face. If they were to battle the Dark Shark Sect, they would be at a disadvantage. However, facing the Mingyue Palace might yield a different outcome. The audience whispered among themselves, the Mingyue Palace is finished. They won't be eliminated in the first round, will they? No one wants to face the Cold Vast Sect in the early rounds, as it's a guaranteed loss. They hadn't anticipated that the very first match would feature a clash between 2 major sections. It seemed there would be much to see this year that I bet on the Cold Vast Sect winning. The Mingyue Palace has merely a young girl, whose spiritual power is significantly lower than that of the Cold Vast Sect's young master. It seems hopeless that I agree. On stage, Lan Qingming smirked, playfully clasping his hands. What a coincidence that our first match is against the Cold Vast Sect. Wu Jihuan, however, had no desire to bully a child. He could hardly be bothered to draw his sword. Lazily calling out to Lan Qingming, young master of the Mingyue Palace, you look to be around 11 years old, don't you? I have no intention of picking on someone so much younger. If you willingly concede, you might avoid a beating, otherwise, winning would not be honorable. The girl, dressed in a flowing sky-blue gown that danced in the wind, radiated confidence and poise, as though capable of swaying the emotions of those around her. I am not a child. Feel free to use all your skills that I can take it, Lan Qingming retorted, summoning a crimson sword. He then inquired of the referee, may I summon a contract beast to fight? The referee hesitated briefly before nodding in response to the girl's fervent gaze. Yes. Lan Qingming called out to his 6 disciples behind him, fight with all your might. We must not let them look down on us. Trust me. The disciples of the Mingyue Palace responded in unison, their voices resounding like thunder, instilling a formidable presence, while the disciples of the Cold Vast Sect appeared hesitant. Lan Qingming smiled, summoning Qiubi, instructing with his mind. Help the disciples of the Mingyue Palace attack, and Qingting, ensure that our disciples do not get knocked off the stage. Understood, Master, Qiubi replied, unfurling its golden wings, while Qingting wove a tight protective barrier at the edge of the arena. The crowd gasped in astonishment. That's a phoenix. She is a contract beast summoner. And how old is she? 11. Huangling level 5. And what is that green vine? Ouyang Yu's expression shifted to one of satisfaction and surprise. Realizing his disciple had returned from training with such remarkable revelations, the disciples of the Cold Vast Sect were momentarily stunned by the scene, forgetting to resist the attacks from the Mingyue Palace's disciples. Once they regained their composure, they hastily employed their spiritual power to defend themselves. Lan Qingming and Wu Jihuan exchanged blows, with Lan Qingming's swordplay being elusive and unpredictable, capable of striking from any angle. What exquisite swordsmanship! The master of the Cold Vast Sect exclaimed. I never imagined this year would bring forth such talent. First, the formidable young master of the Dark Shark Sect, and now, the exceptionally gifted young master of the Mingyue Palace. Lan Qingming formed a hand seal, raising his hands in a delicate gesture, gathering a sphere of fiery spiritual energy. Chapter 39. Lan Qingming is kissed with a soft exhalation. She commanded, fire sword technique. Third form, flame barrier. Flames instantly encircled Wu Jihuan, and countless fireballs rained down upon him, but he reacted swiftly, evading them, but his clothes and hair were singed in the process. The scent of charred fabric filled the air, and his handsome face was marred by soot. You! How dare you! He shouted in frustration, realizing he had been outmaneuvered by a mere girl. utterly losing face. Summoning a fan, Wu Zhihuan bellowed, "Die!" as the fan spun. Countless darts imbued with spiritual energy pursued Lan Qingming, homing in on her like they possessed sentience. She quickly summoned her spiritual energy to defend against them. "Little master, the darts are poisoned," Little Ling shouted anxiously from within the space. "No need to worry. I am immune to all poisons. Unfortunately, this trick won't work on me." She manipulated 2 fireballs to incinerate some of the darts, causing them to fall and dissolve into a puddle of blackened liquid. "Master, use my 3-flame, true fire," Xiaobi urged telepathically. It then unleashed a torrent of flames, melting the darts entirely, while Qingting swiftly caught Meng Nanshi, who was about to tumble off the stage, having dealt with his opponent. Duan Changyi rushed to assist Lan Qingming, given his higher level of spiritual power. Together, they pressured Wu Zhihuan, forcing him into a retreat from both sides. Taking advantage of the moment, Lan Qingming executed a surprise attack from the side, wounding Wu Zhihuan's arm and sending him tumbling off the stage, while the disciples of the cold vast sect fell one by one, defeated, sprawled on the ground. "Well done," Ouyang Yu cheered from the sidelines, clapping excitedly. However, the master of the cold vast sect wore a displeased expression, his demeanor darkening. The audience fell silent, wary of angering the sect leader. The referee, though surprised, proclaimed, "The Mingyue Palace wins." Lan Qingming, now clad in blood-soaked garments, stood on the stage, propped up by her sword to keep from collapsing. Ding Xinyao and others were also injured, swaying unsteadily. Qi Qingchen swiftly rushed to the arena, embracing Lan Qingming's waist. She stiffened initially, but upon sensing his familiar aura, she finally relaxed and fainted. Meng. Qi Qingchen's heart skipped a beat in panic as he quickly retrieved a 7th-grade pill. Feeding it to her, he scooped her into his arms, carrying her to his resting area for treatment. The onlookers were taken aback by this scene, and Ouyang Yu's gaze flickered. He immediately followed, noticing Qi Qingchen cradling the blood-stained girl, her pallid face and trembling lips evoking his sympathy. He called out urgently, "Doctor!" Qingchen rushed over, shouting for the physician. The doctor checked Lan Qingming's pulse and quickly reassured Qi Qingchen. "Miss Lan is not in serious condition, just some superficial wounds that I'll prescribe some ointment for external use. Later, you can summon a maid to help her change the dressings." Qingchen interjected anxiously, "But our Dark Shark sect has no female members." Qi Qingchen's expression shifted slightly as he commanded, "You all may leave for now." "Bring the medicine." Qingchen opened her mouth as if to speak, yet hesitated momentarily before ultimately lifting the tent flap and stepping outside. She murmured softly, "Why hasn't he the master called for anyone to assist Miss Lan with her dressing change? What purpose does taking the medicine inside serve? Could it be that he intends to change it himself?" Suddenly, Qingchen seemed to recall something, hastily covering her mouth and cautiously glancing around to ensure no one was eavesdropping before relaxing her grip. Within the tent, Qi Qingchen delicately retrieved a new crimson garment, carefully untying the sash of Lan Qingming's attire to reveal her fair skin marred by deep, crimson gashes. His eyelashes fluttered slightly as his long fingers tenderly applied medicine to her wounds, on her arms, neck, and back, all marked by scars. Lan Qingming involuntarily gasped in pain, and Qi Qingchen leaned closer, gently blowing on her injuries in an attempt to alleviate her suffering. He wrung out a damp cloth to wipe her porcelain-like body, deliberately avoiding the wounded areas, his movements gentle as if handling fragile porcelain, treating her injuries with the utmost care. Subsequently, he produced a precious scar removal ointment from his spatial pouch, lightly applying it to her scars before assisting her into the red garment. He was aware of her fondness for red, thus he had prepared this piece specifically for her, intending to present it after the competition, yet never anticipated needing it so soon. A day later, as the young woman's lashes fluttered, she opened her eyes to find herself in an unfamiliar place, as if something heavy was pressing down on her. Turning her head, she noticed a youth leaning beside the bed, his strikingly handsome features causing her to swallow hard, her gaze fixated on his profile. Unable to resist, her hand instinctively reached out to touch his prominent nose and chiseled jawline. Qi Qingchen, pretending to be asleep, felt her touch and his heart raced, gradually opening his eyes. Caught in the act, Lan Qingming froze, her mind racing to concoct an excuse. I didn't mean to be captivated by your looks. Do you believe me?" Qi Qingchen chuckled softly, and as she tried to retract her alabaster hand, he quickly grasped it and placed it against his cheek. Is it pleasing? Shall I pinch it a little longer? Lan Xingming was drawn in by the sincerity in his gentle gaze. Finding it difficult to resist the allure of his face, It was so strikingly handsome that it eclipsed all the male stars she had previously encountered. Perfectly aligning with her aesthetic preferences, her hand moved uncontrollably across his face, and suddenly, she was taken aback by her own lewdness, her cheeks flushing crimson as she hastily withdrew her hand. Stammering, she exclaimed, I didn't mean to. Although you are indeed handsome, I'm not that superficial. No sooner had the words left her lips than she found his handsome face drawing closer, his soft, supple lips pressing against hers. Her heartbeat momentarily stilled, and upon realizing she had not rejected him, Qi Qingchen felt a surge of joy. He cupped the back of her head with one hand, intensifying the kiss. I can't breathe. After 3 minutes of kissing, Lan Xingming finally regained her senses, pushing him away. Qi Qingchen released her, and she gazed at him with glistening eyes, her expression a mix of dissatisfaction and cuteness, covering her chapped lips. She protested, Qi Qingchen, that was my first kiss. What are you doing? Stay away from me. Qi Qingchen, having kissed her, earnestly admitted, it was my first time kissing a girl as well. I'm sorry, I simply couldn't help it. I've liked you ever since I first laid eyes on you. Lan Xingming retorted, but I'm still young. However, in the Ice Spirit Snow Nation, girls could marry at 14, while boys could propose at 16. And she was nearing 16. Chapter 40. Discovering her heritage, Lan Xingming was taken aback and sought an excuse to leave. Qi Qingchen, thank you for helping me with my injuries today, but I must return now. Goodbye. With that, she swiftly rose and departed, leaving Qi Qingchen watching her retreating figure with a dimmed expression. Upon returning to her residence, she found her master waiting for her at the door. Approaching him, she inquired, Master, what brings you here? Ouyang Yu, observing her lively demeanor, felt relieved that her injuries were not severe. I came to check on your condition after seeing Qi Qingchen take you away for treatment. Lan Xingming spun around, patting her chest. Master, see, I'm perfectly fine. That's wonderful. There should be 2 more matches shortly, but the remaining opponents are mostly from smaller sects, so we likely won't face any formidable foes. Especially since the strongest has already been defeated. Lan Xingming nodded and smiled. Master, am I not impressive? Why aren't you praising me? I just defeated the Hanguang sect. Our Mingyue Palace will soon be renowned far and wide. Ouyang Yu laughed heartily. You have no idea how furious the Hanguang sect's leader looked from my vantage point. He must have wished to eliminate us. Lan Xingming chuckled joyfully. Qingming, there will be another match that involves entering a dream realm, followed by alchemy and weapon crafting contests. Are you confident? Ouyang Yu inquired with a smile. Lan Xingming confidently patted her chest, declaring, Don't worry, Master. We will give it our all. Good. I'm pleased. Ouyang Yu nodded approvingly. Instructing, you should rest for now. I will check on the injuries of the other disciples in Mingyue Palace. Master, my wounds have healed, and I wish to see how they are faring and bring some medicine. Lan Xingming replied. Following in step, the master and disciple arrived at the quarters of the other disciples of Mingyue Palace, where Lan Xingming summoned 6 disciples and produced a large barrel of mineral water from her spatial pouch, distributing it to them. This medicine can be both applied externally and taken internally. Applying it will ensure you heal instantly. Thank you, little martial ant. I'll be the first to try it on my injuries. Ming Nanshi exclaimed excitedly, taking a small bottle and pouring it onto her wound as the others gathered around, craning their necks to watch. The deep, bone-exposing cut healed almost instantly, leaving behind only a faint scar. Wow! The crowd couldn't contain their astonishment, and even Ouyang Yu displayed a look of surprise, realizing his disciple possessed quite a treasure trove. With divine beasts, elixirs, and this potent medicine, each item was truly priceless. Ming Nanshi suddenly embraced Lan Xingming, exclaiming in excitement, Little martial ant, your medicine is incredible. I'm going to apply it right away. Afterward, she dashed into her room with several bottles of the potion, followed by the others. Ouyang Yu couldn't help but inquire about the source of the items. Disciple, I've noticed you have quite a collection of treasures. Where did this medicine come from? Lan Xingming smiled gently. Master, to be honest, this was left to me by my mother. Ouyang Yu realized that her mother must be extraordinary to possess such rare treasures, undoubtedly hailing from a wealthy family. Curiously, he asked, Disciple, does your mother have a name? Or is she from a particular place? Perhaps I could assist you in finding them. Sitting in the courtyard, Lan Qingming recalled the letter her mother had left her. Retrieving the yellowed paper and slowly saying, Master, my mother never mentioned her name, but I can seek out my uncle Yi Qingyun in the imperial capital. Ouyang Yu's eyes widened in shock, and the teacup in his hand shattered on the ground as silence enveloped him, his gaze fixed intently on her face for what seemed an eternity. You are remarkably similar. How did I not notice before? Lan Qingming, perplexed, asked, Master, what are you talking about? What is so similar? Ouyang Yu promptly retrieved another teacup, pouring himself a drink to calm his astonishment. Qingming, I never realized you were the daughter of Princess Yuexing. Your uncle is the emperor of the imperial capital. Lan Qingming, bewildered, inquired, Master, how do you know this? Do you know what my mother was called when she was young? And what about my father? Where is he? What has happened to them? Ouyang Yu sighed, seemingly lost in memories, his gaze growing distant. Disciple, I was once young in the imperial capital, so I have some knowledge of the affairs there. Your mother's name was Yi Yuaning, the most beautiful woman in the imperial capital, pursued by countless suitors. She was also a 9th-tier alchemist, exceptionally talented. Lan Qingming teased, Master, you didn't have a crush on my mother, did you? After all, a graceful lady is often the object of a gentleman's affection. Ouyang Yu tapped her forehead lightly, chuckling, Naughty girl, what nonsense are you spouting? In my youth, I was enamored with Ming Wan, who was as stunning as your mother, but alas, beautiful women often encounter misfortune. Lan Qingming's eyes gleamed with curiosity. Master, did you win over Miss Ming Wan? With your striking looks, she surely wouldn't have dismissed you. Ouyang Yu's expression turned melancholic as he gazed at the blue sky and white clouds above. So many twists and turns occurred that we lost our way. Abruptly snapping back to the present, he scolded, You little rascal, don't interrupt me. I was talking about your mother. All right. Lan Qingming covered her forehead where he had tapped. It seems your mother fell in love with a man from the Ice Spirit Snow Nation, but your grandparents disapproved of the union, leading her to elope, after which she vanished. However, this is merely what I've heard. The truth remains unclear. You will need to seek the truth in the imperial capital, but your father is from this side, so you might find him. Lan Qingming nodded solemnly. Okay, the letter mentions that my mother and the others were being pursued, so their fates remain uncertain. That I must first locate my father. Ouyang Yu's eyes suddenly sparkled with inspiration as she proposed. In fact, you can start searching among these numerous sects right now, for some heads of noble families and elders have also arrived here. Lan Qingming replied, Very well, Master, I shall assist you in observing closely, while also investigating which noble families encountered events during the time of your birth. Thank you, Master. The following day, Lan Qingming, accompanied by the disciples of Mingyue Palace, arrived at the martial arts arena, all brimming with vigor, which astonished several palace masters on the platform. The young princess of Mingyue Palace appeared to have recovered remarkably from what seemed to be serious injuries the previous day. Chapter 41. The simulation space. The master of Hangwangman, with a darkened gaze, stared intently at the radiant and exuberant young girl, perplexed as to how his disciple had lost. Currently, his disciple, Wu Jihuan, lay on a sickbed, with broken bones and a fractured arm, unable to partake in the competition. Meanwhile, the other party seemed unfazed, having recovered in just a day, leading him to suspect that they had not exerted their full strength. Ouyang Yu, however, wore a broad smile, engaging in casual conversation with several palace masters. Lan Qingming breezed through the subsequent matches, facing opponents who were merely disciples of minor noble families, their abilities not surpassing Huang Ling's, thus requiring no effort on her part as the disciples of Mingyue Palace resolved the encounters. In recent days, Qi Qingqian had been seeking opportunities to converse with her, yet she remained oblivious. Primarily because she had not yet determined how to accept him, feeling somewhat awkward internally. After approximately a week, the team competition finally concluded. The referee announced, the individual ranking competition is now officially commencing. All participants will enter the simulation space for a duration of 2 months. Once inside, you will encounter various beasts to defeat, which will count towards your ranking points. The individual who slays the most beasts will contribute to their sect's overall score. Each sect's disciples will be dispersed upon entering the space, where the highest-ranked beasts will be at Huangling's 9th tier. Upon receiving your jade tokens, please remember the rules of the simulation space. Once inside, Do not attempt to seize others' jade tokens in the event of a life-threatening situation. Disciples may shatter their jade tokens to be immediately transported out, with your score reflecting the number of beasts you have slain. You will now attune yourself to the jade tokens, which will automatically calculate the number of beasts defeated. The higher the beast's level, the greater the points earned. Wishing everyone a victorious return. Upon concluding the rules, the referee opened a portal to the simulation space that Wu Jihuan from Hangwangman shot a glare at Lan Qingming before being the first to leap into the space, with other disciples following suit. Lan Qingming, however, entered leisurely, with Qi Qingchen closely trailing behind, stealthily tying their hands together with a red thread. After all participants had entered the simulation space, the referee produced a circular mirror, infusing it with spiritual energy, which then soared into the sky, revealing a large screen displaying the actions and sounds of all disciples. Once within the space, Lan Qingming felt dizzy, soon realizing her footing was in a swamp. Immobilized by the mire, she surveyed her surroundings and found herself alone. At that moment, a dangerous aura approached stealthily, and the swamp began to undulate as a massive python emerged from within. Ah! Lan Qingming screamed in fright. Losing her balance and falling into the swamp, QB quickly shouted from within the space, "Master, use fire to attack it. Release me, and I can save you." Lan Qingming hastily freed QB, and the phoenix's pressure instantly radiated through the forest, causing the python to hesitate. "Qingteng, extend your thick vines to the opposite shore and weave a net. I will walk across." Lan Qingming summoned Qingteng for support, cautiously stepping on its branches to reach the shore. QB shielded Lan Qingming, keeping a vigilant eye on the python to prevent any sudden attacks. Upon reaching the shore, she immediately used a cleansing spell to rid her pants of mud and drew her divine slaying sword. Charging at the python, QB then retracted his pressure, and Lan Qingming engaged in a tense battle, suddenly leaping onto the python's back and striking precisely at its vital point with her sword. With a roar, she had just dispatched the python when another beast's roar echoed nearby. The python's body vanished upon defeat. "Master, beware, 15 howling moon wolves are approaching," QB warned. "They are incredibly swift. We cannot escape by mere running. We must fight here." A pack of howling moon wolves surrounded them, their crimson eyes fixated on the duo. With a commanding howl from their leader, the wolves charged at them furiously. Lan Qingming quickly unleashed Qingteng to attack, and the wolves struck down instantly, their spiritual energy absorbed by the vines. With her hands forming seals, Lan Qingming declared, "Flame sword technique. First form, raging flame devouring bone." A burst of crimson flames surged toward the wolves. But the howling moon wolves were not to be underestimated. They skillfully evaded the flames, with many escaping unscathed, though some of their fur was singed. The bewildered wolf king, enraged, howled, summoning hundreds of wolves to their side. At this moment, QB also unleashed flames against the wolf pack, while Lan Qingming, drenched in sweat, shouted, "QB, there are too many wolves. We can't kill them all. We must first find a way out and deal with the wolves over here." The Wolf King, seemingly possessing intelligence, immediately dispatched more wolves toward their attacking direction, while some quickly flanked Lan Qingming from behind. Hiss! Pain shot through Lan Qingming's back as 3 claw marks were inflicted, her clothing torn. Seeing this, QB cried out in concern, "Master, are you all right?" Shaoling swiftly transmitted a large cup of spiritual spring water to Lan Qingming, saying, "Little master, drink this. It will help heal your wounds." However, the healing wounds soon reopened amidst the chaos, and Lan Qingming found herself battling the wolves for 2 hours. "What do you mean by relying on me? Do you want me to help you deal with the beasts?" As soon as the words left his mouth, a throng of various types of beasts surged forth, all charging towards him as if he were a delectable morsel. The look of sheer terror graced Wu Jihuan's face. "Ah, Lan Qingming, you wicked woman. You want to feed me to these beasts? Help! Someone, save me!" Struggling to move, he soon realized he couldn't even summon his spiritual power, just as a thunder leopard was about to pounce on him. He saw its gaping maw and despaired, closing his eyes. "Lan Qingming, if I die, I will haunt you even in death." He shouted his final words, inadvertently attracting even more beasts to him. "What are you shouting about?" Just when he thought his end had come, Lan Qingming struck down the thunder leopard with her sword, rescuing him. Wu Jihuan slowly opened his eyes to behold Lan Qingming's captivating visage, currently glancing at him with impatience. His heart, which had nearly stopped from fright, was now transfixed by her graceful swordplay as she fought off the beasts, their blood splattering against her fair, luminous face. In that moment, he was utterly mesmerized. The young girl wielded a crimson sword with unwavering resolve, exuding no hint of fear. She resembled a seasoned general, clad in armor, her hair flowing in the wind, with her back turned to him. She shielded him from all the beast's assaults, and for the first time, he felt the sensation of being protected by a girl, especially after narrowly escaping death. His heart was tumultuous. Thump, 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 it seemed to echo the deafening rhythm of his own heartbeat. He watched silently as the girl battled amidst the horde of beasts, occasionally warning her of impending danger. "Watch out behind you." Lan Qingming, drenched in sweat, felt her swordsmanship significantly improve from this real combat experience. She sensed a flicker of hidden sword intent within her. After dispatching thousands of beasts, she sat down on the ground, exhausted, surrounded by carcasses. Taking a sip from her spiritual spring water, she also consumed a spirit-replenishing pill. In the arena, Lan Qingming soared far above the rest, leaving the sect leaders and observing disciples dumbfounded. They never anticipated such a reckless strategy, willingly drawing the beasts towards her. The Hanguang sect, witnessing their disciple being used as bait, felt a twinge of anger, but fell silent upon seeing the look of admiration in their disciple's eyes as she clung to the girl. Worthless disciple. A child who cannot be taught. Ouyingyu smiled, watching the scene on the big screen with approval. Indeed, this disciple was exceptionally clever. As the 2 hours elapsed, Wu Jihuan's acupoints automatically unlocked, and he tentatively moved his stiff arms. Awkwardly, he called out, "Lan Xiaogongzhu, do you want to walk with me for a bit?" Huh? Lan Qingming was puzzled, thinking to herself how quickly this person had changed his tune. Just a moment ago, he had looked like he wished her dead, and now he wanted to accompany her. Feeling a bit embarrassed, Wu Jihuan lowered his head and stubbornly continued, "I think you are quite powerful. It would be safer for two of us to travel together. In case we encounter any danger, rest assured, you saved me just now. From now on, our grievances are settled, and I won't betray you." Lan Qingming waved her hand dismissively. "Fine, but you should be aware that traveling with me means you'll likely encounter many beasts." She glanced at his attire. "I might also need your clothing to lure the beasts." Wu Jihuan patted his chest, excitedly responding, "No problem, use it as you wish. I could also accumulate some points." Lan Qingming raised an eyebrow. "You're agreeing so readily, aren't you afraid I might harm you?" Wu Jihuan shook his head. "You wouldn't do that. Even after how I treated you, you still saved me. Did I trust your character?" Lan Qingming tossed him a pill. "Take this first. Otherwise, you'll attract even more beasts that will draw beasts towards us with the bait powder when I need it." Wu Jihuan quickly swallowed it, smiling as he asked, "Lan Xiaogongzhu, where are we headed now?" "Of course, we're off to find areas abundant with large beasts. Otherwise, relying solely on the smaller ones won't yield enough points." After having slain thousands of beasts for just over 10,000 points, she knew that a single large beast was worth the equivalent of thousands of smaller ones. Chapter 43. Encountering Qi Qingchen. Lan Qingming summoned Qiubi and leaped atop it, calling out to Wu Jihuan, "Are you coming or not?" "I'm coming." Wu Jihuan hurriedly jumped on. Lan Qingming communicated with Qiubi through her divine sense. "Qiubi, take us to an area with a high concentration of large beasts." Being a divine beast, the phoenix had a keen sense for beasts and immediately set off to the left. Qiubi deposited them in a vast desert, and Lan Qingming looked around the desolate expanse, skeptically asking, "Qiubi, are you sure there are beasts here? It seems devoid of life." "Master, there are definitely beasts. They all inhabit this area and are all yellow spirits." Wu Jihuan grumbled in dissatisfaction. "Lan Xiaogongzhu, this is merely a barren desert. How could there possibly be such a place in the simulated space? There's not even a drop of water." Lan Qingming drew her Zhanshin sword. Sensing danger approaching, she scanned her surroundings. A giant scorpion spirit suddenly charged at them, spraying green venom in their direction. Wu Jihuan shouted in shock, "Lan Qingming, you're poisoned. The venom has stained your hand. Quickly take an antidote pill." He hurriedly retrieved the antidote pills from his space and thrust them towards her, urging, "Hurry, eat it. Otherwise, you'll die. The scorpion spirit's poison will swiftly seep into your marrow." Even though this was a simulated space, her injuries were very real. Seeing that Lan Qingming showed no response and did not take the pills, Wu Jihuan anxiously shouted while fending off the scorpion spirit, Do you want to harm yourself? Why aren't you taking the antidote? I'm not poisoned, Lan Qingming retorted. Those who are poisoned would have a bluish complexion and foam at the mouth. Do I look like that? She shot him a glance, finding him rather annoying, and reluctantly explained. Only then did Wu Zhihuan calm down, observing her healthy complexion and rosy cheeks, reassuring him that she was indeed unpoisoned. Why didn't you say so earlier? You scared me half to death. Wu Zhihuan patted his chest and resumed attacking the scorpion spirit shell. How was I to know you would be so agitated? Lan Qingming swung her sword at the 8th tier yellow spirit scorpion, both of them struggling against its pressure that left them breathless. This is bad, Lan Qingming. Think of a way. It's one level higher than me. I can't defeat it, or we'll die here. Wu Zhihuan exclaimed anxiously, trembling as he held his sword. Lan Qingming gritted her teeth and persisted. There's no choice. We can only fight hard. She produced some green vines to bind the scorpion spirit tightly. Commanding, Wu Zhihuan, aim for its eyes and mouth. All right. Wu Zhihuan released 2 blasts of spiritual power, causing the scorpion spirit to wail in pain, inadvertently summoning a more powerful scorpion spirit. We're in trouble. The scorpion spirit's parents have arrived. Run, Lan Qingming, Wu Zhihuan shouted in urgency, trying to pull her onto his sword to escape. Seeing its offspring being tormented and barely clinging to life, the scorpion spirit's father unleashed a 9th tier yellow spirit's pressure. The two were forced to kneel, with Lan Qingming struggling to breathe under the immense pressure, but Qiubi immediately exhibited its divine beast aura, relieving some of the strain on them. The scorpion spirit's father hesitated to approach due to the phoenix's presence. Meanwhile, Qi Qingqian noticed the red string on his wrist flashing and urgently dispatched his eagle to pursue. Quickly sensing Lan Qingming's location, he discovered she was quite close, also within the desert. He hurriedly flew on his sword. Just as Lan Qingming felt hopeless, she suddenly felt a large hand wrap around her waist, pulling her into a warm embrace. A gentle voice echoed, "Ming'er, are you all right? I'm late." Lan Qingming looked up to see the sharp profile of a young man and shook her head, replying, "I'm fine." Qi Qingqian placed her in a safe spot, stroking her silky hair and gently saying, "Wait for me a moment." "All right." Lan Qingming's face flushed slightly, feeling bashful as she replied, "Okay." Qi Qingqian proceeded to set up formations. Placing several formation orbs to trap the scorpion spirit, as the scorpion spirit vanished, it transformed into points for the 3 of them. Wu Zhihuan, noticing the intimacy between the two, felt a pang of discomfort and quietly distanced himself to heal. Not wanting to intrude, Qi Qingqian hurried over to examine Lan Qingming's injuries. After drinking a few sips of spiritual spring water and consuming a spirit replenishing pill, her spiritual power had fully recovered. "Ming'er, how did you end up here?" Qi Qingqian inquired, puzzled. Lan Qingming explained, "I initially intended to find some large beasts, but Qiubi brought us here that I never expected to encounter such high-level beasts. Thankfully you arrived. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to handle them." Qi Qingqian's displeasure grew upon seeing Wu Zhihuan, and his gaze darkened as he tentatively asked, "Ming'er, how did you end up with him?" Lan Qingming smiled brightly. "I ran into him on the way, and then I recounted the amusing ordeal of teasing Wu Zhihuan, her eyes sparkling with mirth." Qi Qingqian sighed in relief, gazing at her radiant face, his heart filled with longing. It had been over half a month since they had been in the space together, and they hadn't seen each other for quite some time. Throughout these days, he had been fixated on the red thread flashing, deeply worried for her safety, but due to the distance, he had been unable to sense her location. Lan Qingming then curiously asked, "Qingqian, have you been in this desert all along?" Qi Qingqian nodded. "Yes, I was initially transported here." Lan Qingming looked at him with admiration. "This place is teeming with large beasts. I can't believe you've stayed here for so long. That's quite impressive. You haven't broken through to the 9th tier. Have you? Just now, I observed your effortless prowess. It seems you have arranged an intricate formation. To my surprise, you are also adept in such arts?" Lan Qingming bombarded with a flurry of inquiries. Qi Qingqian patiently addressed each one. "Ming'er, your keen eye is commendable. I have made a breakthrough. Although perilous here, opportunities abound. You may wish to try as well." Indeed, Lan Qingming was quite eager. It was then that Wu Zhihuan interjected. "You both go. I shall accompany you." "I want to be a hindrance." The flicker of dissatisfaction crossed Qi Qingqian's gaze. He yearned for some solitary time with Lan Qingming. Unfazed, Lan Qingming replied, "If you wish to come along, then so be it. However, I must forewarn you. It is quite dangerous. Do take care of yourself. Very well. Wu Zhihuan discovered that following Lan Qingming promised rewards, as his points had been soaring in recent days. Lan Qingming possessed numerous methods to attract beasts, and amidst their skirmishes, his points increased inadvertently. Minger, allow me to take you on my sword, Qi Qingchen gently suggested, leading Lan Qingming forward on his flying sword. Leaving Wu Zhihuan to walk alone. Chapter 44. Acquiring monkey wine. Qi Qingchen led Lan Qingming to a small cave, which appeared modest from the outside, yet inside was a realm of wonders. Minger, be cautious. There are many stones here. Watch your step, he said, protecting her head with one hand. All right. Lan Qingming then noticed the multitude of blue ice crystals within the cave. Wow, how beautiful. What are these? Qi Qingchen chuckled softly. Explaining, Minger, this is the dwelling of the monkeys. Soon, I will take you to find the 9, brewed over a millennium. A single sip can elevate one's cultivation. Oh, surely, there must be many monkeys guarding it. We might not be able to procure it. Lan Qingming observed a sparkling pool where delightful little monkeys frolicked, while others were picking peaches from a tree. Let us go. We have previously met the Monkey King. I have just had an audience with him. Qi Qingchen's eyes sparkled as he held her hand. Lan Qingming's eyes widened in astonishment. You actually know the Monkey King? Does he permit us to freely enter and exit here? Qi Qingchen produced a substantial bag of spirit stones, explaining with a smile. The monkeys here are fond of these vividly colored spirit stones, so we shall exchange them for the 9. Lan Qingming gazed at him with admiration. She had a penchant for fine wines, and a brew aged for millennia must possess remarkable purity. As they approached the Monkey King, they were encircled by a throng of curious little monkeys, each stretching their necks to gaze at the duo. Qi Qingchen saluted the Monkey King seated on his throne, handing the spirit stones to a little monkey, who then delivered them to the king. Monkey King, I have brought the spirit stones you requested. We wish to exchange them for the 9. Seeing this, Lan Qingming quickly presented her own bag of spirit stones. Monkey King, here are mine as well. The Monkey King opened her bag, nodding in satisfaction. Not bad. He then commanded a few little monkeys. Go fetch 6 jars of 9. Yes, great king. The little monkeys scampered off inside. One little monkey clutched Lan Qingming's clothing, climbing up her arm. Sister, you are so beautiful. You smell lovely too. Qi Qingchen's expression darkened with displeasure. Just as he was about to shoo away the bothersome little creature, Lan Qingming embraced it warmly. Thank you for the compliment. How old are you? What is your name? You are quite adorable as well. Qi Qingchen had no choice but to suppress his irritation, taking a deep breath. The little monkey seemed to sense a chill in the air. Glancing at Qi Qingchen with a shiver, clinging to Lan Qingming's sleeve, it said in a tender voice, Sister, that brother seems frightening. He glared at me. Lan Qingming turned to Qi Qingchen, who hastily waved his hands in explanation. Minger, I did not frighten him. The little monkey clutched Lan Qingming's clothing again, saying, Sister, I'm fine. Please don't scold the brother. My name is Da Huang, and I am 6 years old this year. Qi Qingchen shot a deep, penetrating glare at the little green team monkey, muttering under his breath, What a good actor. The little monkey continued to cling to Lan Qingming, while several others returned with the 9. Qi Qingchen attempted to redirect Lan Qingming's attention to himself, gently suggesting, Minger, please collect the wine. I only need 1 jar. Why are you giving it all to me? Take a few more bottles. We shall share equally. With that, she promptly stored 3 jars into her space, urging him, Hurry and take yours. You contributed half the cost. It wouldn't be fair for me to have so much. Qi Qingchen was about to refuse. Minger, I truly don't need this much. Keep it for yourself, Lan Qingming insisted. No way. This is precious. We spent a lot of spirit stones to acquire these 6 jars. Seeing that he could not outmaneuver Lan Qingming, Qi Qingchen reluctantly accepted. The little monkey then piped up, Sister, do you want this wine? I brewed some as well. May I gift it to you? However, mine is only 7, not as good as my father's, and it hasn't aged as long. I can only offer you 8 jars. The little monkey hurriedly fetched 8 jars from its own quarters and presented them to Lan Qingming. Then turned to the Monkey King. Monkey King, may I accompany these too? The Monkey King, with a benevolent smile, addressed them. Since my son wishes to join you, dear lady, could you take him along? Lan Qingming was momentarily stunned, while Qi Qingchen quickly interjected, No. Monkey King, the outside world is perilous. It is unsafe for him to venture forth. The Monkey King, still smiling, replied, "There is no harm in letting him experience the outside. I can provide you with 5 more jars of monkey wine. Would you kindly ensure my son's safety?" Ah, Lan Qingming blinked in confusion, glancing at the little monkey. "Why do you want to come with me?" The little monkey scampered over, exclaiming, "Because I really like you. Sister, you are so beautiful." Qi Qingqian's expression darkened further, his grip tightening on his sword. Had it not been the realm of the monkeys, he might have unleashed his anger. Lan Qingming, however, found the little monkey's innocence endearing and gently cautioned. "But following me, you might encounter danger at any moment. Are you still willing?" "I am," the little monkey chirped enthusiastically. Qi Qingqian, grasping Lan Qingming's hand, attempted to plead. "Ming'er, don't you already have a contracted beast? It is not safe to take him along. Please reconsider." The little monkey, undeterred, pleaded, "No, sister. If you take me, I promise not to cause any trouble. I can help you brew wine." Lan Qingming felt overwhelmed, ultimately deciding to bring the little monkey along. "All right. We can take him. I will store him in my space where he should be safe." She then said to the little monkey, "Hurry and bid farewell to your father and friends. We shall be leaving soon." "Okay." The little monkey joyfully dashed off to say goodbye, while the other monkeys generously gifted him various tokens. Lan Qingming stored the gifts and placed the little monkey inside her space to play with Qiu Bai and the others. Qi Qingqian remained somewhat displeased, his expression sullen. Lan Qingming shook his arm, smiling. "Why are you upset with him? He knows nothing." Qi Qingqian replied, feeling uncomfortable, "But he said he likes you." Realizing he was feeling jealous, Lan Qingming chuckled, "Haha, he is so young. How would he know what liking means? Now, don't be angry." Qi Qingqian's lips curved upwards, revealing that he had been appeased. After exiting, they found Wu Jihuan waiting for them. "You two finally emerged. I nearly thought you had perished in there." Qi Qingqian pointed towards the desolate woods ahead. "Let us investigate further." Chapter 45. Alchemy. Lan Qingming nodded. "All right." Her sharp eyes caught sight of some herbs ahead, and she rushed over to pluck them. "Wait for me. That is Ningxin grass, worth a fortune and quite rare. It can be used in alchemy." Qi Qingqian stood guard beside her, ensuring no beasts would attack. Over the next 3 days, Lan Qingming diligently searched for herbs and spiritual fruits, yielding considerable rewards. They sat by a pool, roasting meat, and Lan Qingming offered a piece of grilled fish to the others. "Would you care to try?" Wu Jihuan's eyes lit up at the enticing aroma, eagerly accepting. "I shall not hold back then." Qi Qingqian shot him a sidelong glance. "Humph, that was meant for me, yet you dare to snatch it." As their tokens began to shimmer, Lan Qingming exclaimed with a smile, "The time has come. A month has flown by. We can finally leave." Indeed, Qi Qingqian took her hand, and for a moment, she did not notice. After their transfer, their hands remained intertwined. Qi Qingqian secretly reveled in the moment, but Lan Qingming instinctively released her grip, leaving him with a sense of loss. "Ming'er, let us check the scores on the big screen," Qi Qingqian suggested, leading her to the forefront. Lan Qingming beamed, pointing at her name. "I placed first, you are second, and Wu Zhuan third. Our names are all together." Qi Qingqian gazed at her profile with tenderness, thinking to himself that their names were indeed linked. Upon seeing the trio's names leading far ahead, others couldn't help but question, why are their scores so high? Lan Qingming, 586. 960. Qi Qingqian, 46. 633. Wu Zhuan, 284,410. How could their points be in the tens of thousands? Is the token malfunctioning? How could anyone surpass by such a margin? Indeed, surely, it cannot be that they cheated. I wish to know how they managed to slay so many beasts in a month. Murmurs of envy and dissatisfaction rippled through the disciples, calling for the judges to provide an explanation. The judge's voice rang out. "Silence." Their approach, which I will soon showcase on the large screen for your observation, is something everyone can learn from. Recently, all have been astounded to witness the spectacle on the screen, where Lan Qingming effortlessly draws numerous beasts, leading to a fierce clash among them. An awe-inspiring sight. One cannot help but admire their method, and I find myself wishing I could join Lan Qingming's team with Wu Jihuan. Even if it meant being relegated to merely attracting monsters, at least I could rake in some points. As the screen presentation concluded, resounding applause erupted in the venue, with the various sect leaders offering their encouragement to Lan Qingming. Everyone saw them obtaining the coveted Jupine monkey wine. The judge announced loudly, "The overall rankings are now available. Let us congratulate Mingyue Palace for securing the first place, Ansha sect for the second, Hanguang sect for the third, and Bai Shui sect for the fourth, Hao Bai sect in 10th place. Now, the top 3 young sect leaders may come forward to collect their prizes." Lan Qingming joyfully received her generous reward, while the leader of Hao Bai sect wore a dark expression, feeling dissatisfied. Last year, their sect had placed in the top 5, and to his dismay, they had aimed for the top 3 only to find themselves in 10th place this year, outperformed even by smaller sections. He felt as though his face was being rubbed in the dirt, storming off in anger, casting a fierce glare at Lan Qingming and Qi Qingchen. These 2 exceptionally gifted youths must not be allowed to remain. Afterward, Ouyang pulled her disciple aside and whispered, "My dear disciple, I know you've obtained the Jupine monkey wine. Do let me have a taste." The disciple's luck was indeed commendable, acquiring such a fine treasure, eliciting a chuckle from Ouyang. Lan Qingming unceremoniously produced 2 jars. "Master, take these to share with the other sect leaders." The leaders receiving the wine all felt a surge of goodwill towards Lan Qingming and returned the gesture. This battle had catapulted both Lan Qingming and Qi Qingchen into prominence, garnering immense admiration from many cultivation disciples. 3 days later, a competition for alchemy and artifact crafting commenced, like her fellow disciples. Lan Qingming sat down with her alchemy furnace to refine elixirs, and many sect leaders were struck by her presence. The leader of Bai Shui's sect exclaimed loudly, "Ouyang sect leader, your disciple is indeed remarkable. Not only is she endowed with exceptional talent, but she also possesses the skill of alchemy. Where on earth did you find such a treasure? Do tell me the location so that I may seek one for myself next time." "Ha ha ha ha," Ouyang beamed with pride, admitting, "To be honest, I did find her in the misty forest." The leader of Bai Shui's sect's curiosity piqued. "Oh? Ouyang's sect leader, do elaborate." Ouyang replied, "I happened upon her in the misty forest. Injured and in need of help. I felt a strong connection and brought her back to the sect." "Huh. It seems this truly is fate," the leader of Bai Shui's sect remarked enviously, as the incense stick burned down. The judge announced, "Stop. Time is up. Please present your elixirs." Lan Qingming produced her elixirs for evaluation by several alchemists. The elder from the alchemy division proclaimed the results. The top 3 places are as follows. First place goes to Wang Shun from Bai Shui's sect with a 4th-tier medium-grade solidifying essence pill. Second place goes to Lin Yi from Hanguang sect with a 4th-tier low-grade solidifying essence pill. Third place goes to Lan Qingming from Mingyue Palace with a 3rd-tier high-grade solidifying essence pill. The crowd could not help but cast admiring glances. The young sect leader Lan is truly extraordinary. Not only can she refine elixirs, but she also secured 3rd place. How can we compete with that? It is indeed a high-grade elixir, indicating exceptional quality, something many alchemists strive for throughout their lives, requiring immense talent. Congratulations, Ouyang sect leader. Several sect leaders congratulated her with smiles, though inwardly they were grinding their teeth in frustration. The 2 middle-aged men who also received awards felt ashamed, bowing their heads, realizing they could not measure up to a young girl at their age. Meanwhile, Lan Qingming joyfully accepted her prize, a brand new alchemy furnace. An elder from the alchemy summit approached her privately and inquired, "Young sect leader Lan, would you be interested in joining the alchemy division? We can provide you with herbs for your concoctions." Lan Qingming's eyes lit up with excitement. "Really? You can provide any herbs?" The elder nodded. "Our alchemy division possesses many herbs unavailable elsewhere, and most importantly, we offer them for free. We will also provide you with a special robe and badge for alchemists, so that wherever you go, no one will doubt your identity as an alchemist." Lan Qingming nodded in agreement. "That sounds wonderful." She then left with her badge and the exclusive robe for alchemists, excitedly telling Xiaoling, "Now we have to constantly venture into the misty forest to gather herbs. How splendid!" Chapter 46. Duan Shangyi's hidden affection. Lan Qingming returned to reunite with her fellow disciples of Mingyue Palace. "Master, I'm back. Shall we head home?" Ouyang smiled and teased. "What is this? You seem quite elated, having returned with such bountiful rewards." He scrutinized the alchemist badge in her hand. "Oh, you've even acquired one of these. Quite impressive, my disciple. You have certainly brought me honor." Master, your face must be quite large now, considering all 7 of us have contributed to it." Lan Qingming modestly deflected the credit, prompting laughter from the other disciples. Meng Nachi chimed in with a smile. Sect leader, you must reward us when we return, at the very least ensuring the meals at Mingyue Palace are improved. We can't keep having such bland fare every day. I have but one wish. The food at Mingyue Palace is truly unbearable. It's not even as good as little Shu's cooking. Ding Xinyao, beautiful eyes sparkled with curiosity as she asked, does the young sect leader know how to cook? Meng Nachi nodded. Indeed, and she cooks exceptionally well, even better than the chefs at restaurants. Ding Xinyao gazed at Lan Qingming in admiration. Young sect leader, why not cook for us next time? I would love to sample your culinary skills. Lan Qingming nodded. Sure. Ouyingyu laughed. Then let us have a meal tonight. It seems we shall all be in for a treat today. Duan Changyi chuckled to the others. Ayan Yun smiled and said, then I shall assist the young sect leader and perhaps steal some cooking tips along the way. All right, Lan Qingming nodded with a smile. Once aboard the flying vessel, they arrived at Mingyue Palace in about half a day's time. Master, why are so many senior brothers and sisters gathered there, along with the elders? Lan Qingming spotted a throng of figures at the entrance of Mingyue Palace. Almost a sea of people, creating a bustling scene. Ouyingyu nodded with a smile. Yes, they have likely heard the news and are here to greet us. Ding Xinyao explained. Young sect leader, you may not be aware, but every sect competition is a highly anticipated event, and immediately after it concludes, news spreads far and wide, garnering much attention. Oh? Lan Qingming nodded, indicating her understanding. Duan Changyi remarked, I have participated in several sect competitions, yet none have ever been as grand as today's event. Nearly everyone from the palace is present and awaited the descent of the flying vessel with eyes full of joy, and as soon as they disembarked, they were met with a heartfelt welcome. Numerous disciples presented flowers and food to Lan Qingming. The elders, accompanied by many disciples, bowed. We welcome the sect leader and young sect leader back in triumph, bringing unprecedented glory to Mingyue Palace. Tonight, we shall hold a banquet, and the disciples have prepared everything. The grand elder cheerfully remarked. The disciples led by the young sect leader are indeed formidable. Lan Qingming's eyes brightened, and with a cheeky grin, she asked, the grand elder is praising us. Does that mean there are rewards in store for us? Ha 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 ha. The grand elder laughed heartily and immediately agreed, producing a selection of weapons and spirit fruits for them to choose from. With a grand gesture, he declared, these are all treasures collected by Old Hu. Feel free to pick whatever you fancy. Meng Nanshi instantly grew excited and hurriedly approached to select, picking up a fan. Wow, Grand Elder, this fan filled with hidden weapons is quite impressive, perfect for combat. The other elders also presented various items as tokens of appreciation, and Lan Qingming quickly chose her favorites, realizing that the elders, having lived for centuries, possessed quite an array of treasures. Since the elders have offered gifts, it is only fitting that I, as sect leader, also present something to you. Ouyangyu laughed as she produced several beast eggs and life-saving talismans. Those without contracted spirit beasts may take these beast eggs, all of which I obtained from auctions and the Misty Forest. For those with contracted spirit beasts, take these talismans. I have infused them with some spiritual power to withstand attacks from foes below the blue spirit level. Without hesitation, Lan Qingming chose a life-saving talisman, having already contracted with Chobi. Once everyone had selected their items, they followed the elders to their seats at the banquet, where some disciples were performing songs and dances, creating a lively atmosphere, dressed in red. Lan Qingming's enchanting visage was striking, as she languidly sipped the fine wine and savored the delicacies, a rosy hue gracing her cheeks, her gaze dreamy. Observing the eager disciples, Duan Changyi's eyes flickered as he quietly approached her and asked, young sect leader, are you intoxicated? Would you like to rest in your room? Lan Qingming shook her head. No need, I'm not drunk. The girl, with her hazy eyes, glanced at him, leaving Duan Changyi momentarily stunned, before hastily lowering his gaze in fluster. Very well then. Reluctantly retreating to his seat, Duan Changyi stole glances at Lan Qingming's expression, while an Iyun, witnessing this scene, felt a shadow pass over her eyes. At that moment, Zhu Guang lost the game, and his disciples began to cheer, urging him to showcase his talents. Zhu Guang, feeling rather awkward, replied, I can't do that. All I know how to do is fight. Yabei chuckled and suggested, how about a sword dance? You could even call someone up to join you. With a resigned demeanor, Zhu Guang performed a sword dance, while the crowd continued to chant, come on, young master, give us a show, the one called upon. Lan Qingming blushed deeply, her face flushed with inebriation. Internally, she couldn't help but lament the poor tolerance of this body for alcohol, recalling her former self who could drink without consequence. Duan Changyi quickly rose to say, "The young master is drunk. Allow me to take her place." De Annie Yun, witnessing this, felt her spirits dim, her grip on the wine cup turning white as she lowered her gaze to avoid him. Lan Xingming struggled to her feet, slightly unsteady, only to be supported by a broad hand. She looked up to see Duan Changyi and declared, "I don't need your help. I can manage on my own." Then, with a smile for everyone, she added, "I shall perform a dance for you all. Please accompany me on the guzheng." Sensing the floral fragrance emanating from the young girl, Duan Changyi's face flushed, and he volunteered, "Young master, I can provide the accompaniment. I will play for you." The crowd erupted in cheers. Wonderful. As Lan Xingming stepped to the center, she rolled up her wide sleeves, with Duan Changyi plucking the lively strings of the guzheng. Her slender figure gracefully danced, performing her most proficient classical dance. Having trained for nearly 15 years in dance to pursue an acting career, her foundation was undeniably solid, and her flexibility remarkable. Enraptured by the melodious music and exquisite dance, the audience fell silent for a moment, while the girl's exuberant movements stirred ripples within Duan Changyi's heart. His fingers danced upon the strings, captivated by her grace, and the two found an unexpected harmony. As the performance concluded, the audience remained momentarily spellbound, unable to shake off the enchantment of the dance. Chapter 47. A promise of devotion. Applause erupted throughout the hall, and Duan Changyi smiled, praising, "Young master, your dancing is unparalleled. It seems you have hidden depths." Meng Nanchi gazed at her with starry eyes, exclaiming, "Young master, not only are you highly skilled, but your culinary arts and dancing are exceptional as well. I find myself utterly lacking in comparison." Lan Xingming, her eyes slightly glazed, chuckled and replied, "Oh, not at all. You are quite impressive yourself. Our Nanchi is so beautiful and skilled. Who wouldn't be enamored?" Meng Nanchi's face flushed crimson as she stammered, "Young master, you are the first person to ever call me beautiful. Surely, it must be a matter of their poor judgment." Lan Xingming playfully lifted Meng Nanchi's chin, her eyes filled with admiration. For a moment, Meng Nanchi held her breath, her face turning beet red from the unexpected gesture, realizing she had been charmed by the girl. Duan Changyi, steadying the swaying Lan Xingming, explained, "The young master must be quite inebriated. Allow me to escort her back to rest." Meng Nanchi nodded in agreement, then quickly added, "Duan Shixiang, is it not inconvenient for you, as a man, to enter her room? Let me assist the little Shirshu instead." A flicker of something unusual crossed Duan Changyi's gaze. His hand lingering on the warmth of the moment, he stepped aside, allowing Meng Nanchi to support Lan Xingming as they departed, his eyes clouded with disappointment and regret. Meng Nanchi helped the unsteady Lan Xingming to her quarters. Upon arrival, Lan Xingming remarked, "Nanchi, I have reached my room. You need not accompany me further." Observing her dazed state, Meng Nanchi asked with concern, "Little Shirshu, can you manage alone? Would you like me to fetch you some hangover soup?" Lan Xingming nodded, "Yes, I do feel a bit of a headache." Without delay, Meng Nanchi hurried to the kitchen to prepare the remedy. Just as she left, Lan Xingming entered her room, feeling a sudden chill at the corner of her mouth, accompanied by a cool, soothing voice. "Here, take this pill. It will alleviate your hangover and ease your headache." Dazed, Lan Xingming recognized the familiar figure clad in white, somewhat familiar yet comforting, and, sensing his familiar aura, she relaxed her guard and consumed the pill.